And this is the OK Show, the crazy duo for now. My name is Iceman,
Yo, Rod Rodriguez here. Deja
and we are
vu.
doing this tonight. We're doing this tonight, finally.
Yes, we
Deja
are.
vu. Deja
Yep,
vu.
we're. This is
What do you mean by
official.
deja vu?
So the show is deja vu. It's like I think this happened already like 5 seconds ago, but Mike for the mic was on and the camera was on, but unfortunately, Ice, the man at the controls, not used to being a technician because we were radio DJs. We had techs
Right?
pushing all the buttons for us. Forgot
Right?
to
Oh,
activate
man.
the on air streaming button. So
I
now we
miss
have to
those
start over.
days. I miss
Yeah.
those days. At least when we turn on the mic, the lights go on, the red lights go on, and we know we're on air, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
we only have to press that button, the mic button, and that's it.
Everything
Now
was
we
ready
have to do
for
a
us.
lot of stuff, and it's so complicated for me.
Yes, we do.
I'm
We
not
do.
cut out for this.
It's
Oh
like
man.
we walk in the back when we were doing radio for the folks out there who are tuned in. If there's any already, welcome to the show. If not, well, if you are, tell your friends about it. It's a Monday episode. And yeah, you back in the radio days, we would just walk in the booth, like sometimes we'd walk in earlier than our actual board time, or we would walk in 5 seconds before our board time, and all we had to do is sit there and just like continue where the previous DJ left off, right?
Right.
And that's kind of like how Iceman and I became really good friends because our board time was like right after the other. Like I would come in after Ice, or Ice would come in after me, and we would like have this like window period where we would chit chat and let the songs play first and catch up. And that's kind of because that's like how that's the thing with radio. It's like we don't really get to spend a lot of time with each other unless we have like meetings or events or activities that require all of us together at one time. It's most of the time you do your show right after your show, I do my show, you leave. We kind of do that. It's like a rotation thing.
Right.
So
Right. And
it's
I
not
think
like
people
uh,
have the impression that we're all really good friends, which in our case we were good friends. Yes. I mean,
yes, yes,
everybody at that particular time, all the DJs were good friends.
we
But in
were, we were.
reality, sometimes that's not the case. Though they may have like their schedules are really close, and they follow each other. The other guy comes next after the other guy's show, but in reality, some of them don't even talk. They don't even smile at each other.
I
That's
agree.
the reality of it.
I
But in
agree.
our case, we were lucky to be in a group where we like each other a lot,
I
and we
agree.
spend time outside of our jobs, and we spend time hanging out somewhere and just chatting. So it was a pretty good group.
We,
So
we we
yeah,
made lifelong friends. We made lifelong friends. Like
I think so. I think so.
people who became a part of my wedding entourage during our radio days. Your godfather to one of my sons. Another friend of mine is the godfather to. I think you and Joe are both godfathers. Judge T, back when he was attorney T, is also a ninong. So I made lifelong friends, and I think it had a lot to do with the chemistry. We were all kind of at the same stage in our lives when we got together. We were mostly all guys, so that kind of helped. And we've been through several radio stations also. It wasn't like our first foray into broadcasting where it was like you were still trying to feel each other out, and you didn't know how to properly behave as an adult. We were all adults, right? We were all adults when we joined Killer B.
I would
We
like
were
to
all
think so.
adults.
Yes.
You've had several jobs. You were actually juggling two jobs. I've been to a couple of radio stations. The guys who were there when we joined in were kind of the survivors of the post Holocaust. So the Badlunguns, not the Badlunguns, but the other DJs kind of did their thing already, and who was left there were kind of the ones who were willing to you know deal with whoever else is coming in, and we came in like us, myself. You came in first, I think. Then Chuck came in. Then I came in. I'm not.
No, no, no. It was me, then you, then
Then
Chuck.
Mao. Okay.
Yeah. So it
All right.
was
So
me, you, then
okay.
Chuck.
All right. All right. So, but you were
Because
there for
back,
like a couple of months.
I was there since because I think you joined in sometime around what, April or May? Was it May? Was it
It was.
April?
It was May. If I
All right.
recall
So I was
correctly, the
there.
first
I
board
was
time
there
was
in
May.
November, late November. I started my training, and December I was there for the whole month, just like getting the feel. of what it's like to be back in the booth. Then January, I think I started talking. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was there about like 4 or 3 months, 3 to 4 months. Then you
Yeah, because
came in, and I was like, oh,
I remember seeing some pictures of events there that you co-hosted with the DJs before I came in. So you were already part of some events before I came
yeah,
in.
well, nobody wanted to host. And I was the new guy. They were like, oh, you want to go there? I'm like, all right, I'll go there. Oh, you want to go there? Yeah, yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, I'll go anywhere.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to, just, you know me. I mean, I love that job. So I was like, yeah, send me anywhere. I'll go. No problem.
Yeah, Ice was always he was a frontliner. He was very passionate about radio, and that's the kind of thing where we kind of differ because I don't want to say like I wasn't passionate, but it was an experiment for me. I tried it out, and lo and behold, I was like like 10 years in the business already. I'm like, I'm still doing it. This can't be experimental anymore. There must be something about it that kept me here.
I'm still thinking
You know,
about it. Is this the career
you
for me?
know,
I've been here 15
it's
years.
very.
Oh my
But I
God.
think I think I think it had really a lot to do. Maybe 80, 70 to 80% had a lot to do with the people I was working with. Not all. There were a couple of folks that I wish that I wasn't working with at the time, but most of the you guys, obviously the production team, the techs, everything, you know, made it a lot easier. It's because that's the hardest thing. If you ever get a job, and I think we will have this as a topic some other time, talking about employment and the workspace and how to make a workspace healthy and what an impact it can have on you as an employee. Because for
Right.
me, obviously we were getting paid peanuts. I think that's no secret. People in the broadcasting industry, from those who work at news stations to people who work in massa stations to people who work in top 40 FM stations like ours. It's not the most glamorous job. It's not the highest paying job in the world unless you become head anchor, or you go to Manila and you have your own syndicated show. Then you start getting paid real good money. But so a lot of it had to do with the people we were working with and just the healthy environment that we were in. We made it easier for each other. And I think that's what kept me. Maybe 70, 80% the reason why I was there. And maybe the 30%, probably the girls. All right.
The girls. All right. See,
Okay,
that's the
maybe.
thing too. That's the thing. 'Cause, yeah, to be honest, like some people get into that business or get into our business just for the girls.
Yes.
And that's what I've been telling Joe from the very beginning. Like I didn't get into business or got into the business because of that. I wanted to do radio.
That's what you said too. That's what you said.
No, 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 no. Like no, no, no. Like a lot of
I know. I
people
know. I know. I
a
know.
lot of people wanted to do that, and for the most part it's like it's tempting, and it's like poison, because you have this image that DJs are chick magnets, but me,
Yeah.
I didn't go into it because I wanted to have chicks. I just wanted to do radio because it fascinated me. The first time I visited a radio station was um, back when I was in fourth year high school. Then this was in Cool 106. All right. So 106 point, what was their frequency?
And they were the and cool
106.5,
cool 106
106.7.
was like the the Koleyala station. This was
All right. Yeah.
English
Cool
format, right? It was English
106.
English format, top 40 CHR.
Right.
The
Right.
market was the college students, high school students. So this was because I mean you have to think, people. Not all radio stations, not all DJs cater to the same market. There are radio stations that cater to people who work in the public market. There are DJs that cater to the jeepney drivers, and they play the music that jeepney drivers play. And it's not all the
Right.
same. There are radio stations that cater to religious people. There are radio
Right.
stations that cater to people working at banks, where they just play music and they don't really do a lot of talk. Our radio station, or we were, I guess, blessed that all the stations I've worked for were catering to the top 40. Well, we're catering to the crowd that was listening to top 40 music. So these were basically the students, the young professionals, basically the market you would want if you were to think of the AB audience category. And we were very fortunate because it was an English format station. We kind of held ourselves in a certain pedestal. We
Right.
kind of had to maintain a certain
Hmm.
pedigree, just the English alone. I mean, we were doing talk shows in Davao City that was all in English. I mean, even in the US, that would be something. I mean, to be a talk show host in the US is already, you get paid for that. And to think that we're in the Philippines, we're not even like, we like in Davao, to maintain
True.
that kind of
True.
standard. That's not
So
easy
yeah.
unless you grew up in the States, you have the advantage like me, where I
True.
went to school
Most
in the
most
States.
most of the radio DJs that I've that I've heard of, or that I've know about, some of them have backgrounds of being in another country. Like at some point they moved to another country and they came back. So they're like amboys in a way.
Yes,
So
yes.
when I visited Cool 106, it fascinated me because when that guy, who was that? Miles Fiddler. I remember that guy, Miles Fiddler. When he turned
Yeah.
on the mic, he started talking, and the booth was so quiet. He was just like talking. So it's like he's just talking to himself, and it's like, oh, the Big Mac's Cool 106. And like he was like talking like that. I was like,
So
oh,
who was
smiling
this
at
guy? What
himself.
was this guy? Amboy? Who was this guy?
No, I don't know his background, but he
Okay.
was a DJ at that time. But I was like,
Okay.
wow, that is so cool. It's like he just pressed a button and he can be anywhere. He can
Yes.
be in Davao
Anyone.
Oriental,
He can
Davao
be
del
anyone.
Sur.
Yeah.
Anybody can hear him. So I was just, man, that was a brand new experience for me. I was like, I want to do that. Then my friend who works there, he was also in high school, but he managed to um, bag that gig, and I was like, I envy that guy. And I was like,
Yeah.
man. And this guy was, he's a good friend. But then at that time, I was like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. But then,
Well,
at that time, it was still, there were still people who thought that radio DJs should have really deep voice. Like you have to sound like Rick Dees or Chris
yeah.
Paula.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they really have really nice voices and really deep,
Yeah.
like
Because
really
that was like
manly.
the first kind of that's the first measuring thing,
I think so.
your voice. It was the
But when
quality of your voice.
when we
Um,
were in the business, we called it old school. It's like, oh, that's so old school. We're like new
yeah.
school now. We don't do
I
that with our
think I
voices.
think it kind of evolved. I think we kind of like I think a couple of guys kind of paved the way for us. You have guys like Peter Cross and George Book. I mean, these guys didn't really have the big voice, but
Right.
they were the ones doing the talk shows, right? So
Right.
that kind of they paved the way for us because I think they were maybe the pioneers of, at least in Davao City, in terms of having a conversational voice rather than an announcer voice. Whereas the announcer voice was the intimidating Ted Filon kind of, and some of it is, like some of it is put on. Like some of these people don't really talk like that normally, and there are people I know who speak in that baritone voice, like right, that's their normal voice. Whereas for us, we could probably do that. We could fake it, but it will be very difficult, especially if we were put
Yes.
in a position where we had to do a talk show, or interview a celebrity, and we always have to like, well, blah, blah, blah. It would
I
be very
can't breathe.
difficult.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe anymore. Oh my god.
for
Oh my god.
for me at least. For me at least. So,
Yeah,
and
same with
it took a
me. I
while. It took a
I
while,
can't
but I think
can't
with
keep
you
up with
though,
it.
it's like you didn't go through that long journey of trying to figure out what your radio voice was, because I think from the very beginning when you were Chris Rock, you kind of you took advantage of the uniqueness of the tone of your voice. It became your trademark rather than your flaw, and I think that worked well for you. For me, it took a while because when I started out with radio, I had a very robotic, like, I mean, I grew up in the States, I have all the advantages. I always read English magazines. I was always thinking in English. I was always watching English shows. I wasn't really like, not that I was social or anything. It's just that that was what I was comfortable with at that time, because I was only, maybe not that many years away from just arriving from the US. So I was that was my mindset, and I thought I had all the advantages. In fact, the reason why I submitted a voice tape and I applied for a DJ job was I was thinking, well, I could probably speak English better than these guys doing it, and
Exactly.
they were.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought too. I
That's
started
what I
that way.
thought.
I mean,
That's
if
what I
he can
thought.
do it, and I think I'm better than this
That's what I
guy,
thought.
yeah, I should do it.
That's what I thought. I guess what? I thought wrong. All right,
No,
because
no,
when
no,
I
no. We
because when
thought
I
right. We
we
thought right. We
well,
thought
that happened
right.
later. We went through trial by fire. I mean, your level of confidence is way better than mine, because I mean, when I went in and I did my radio thing, my
Well,
first
did you ever
ad-lib,
question yourself?
my first on air, it wasn't really about, it wasn't really about like me, my speaking skills, my communication skills. It wasn't really about that, because I've always been very talkative.
Right?
Ever
What
since I
is
was a
it?
kid.
You were having doubts,
No, it wasn't that. It was the
because of your
it was the
voice.
it was the multitasking. Dude, I had to. operate a CD player one, CD player two, mini disc to play a commercial, operate Winamp. I had to log. It
We
was
are
just
lazy people.
the
We are
multi
lazy people.
dude. Now, look. I know a lot of these. I know a lot of these radio people now. I know a lot of them before they got into radio were probably like hardcore into music, so they probably had
Right.
CD players and mixers and all that
No, no,
crap in
no.
their houses. I never had any of that crap. I
But
don't
we
know
were
what we were.
actually
What
we were lucky. This would go into our topic, right? Because um,
the problems
we're
that we
facing
had?
a lot
Yeah.
of problems, but in what ways things are better today than we were growing up? Okay, so talking about that, at that particular time, we were using CDs. Back in the day, they were using
CDs.
records. Can you imagine if you were doing records and
They,
cassette tapes?
they were using like 8 track
Like
or whatever it is they were using. They were using carts. They were using carts,
carts, yeah.
And I
And
think,
those like vinyl records. Dude, the
but I
vinyl
mean,
records.
I know, but I
They
mean,
have to
like
clean it up. That's what I heard. They
that's
have to like
why.
wipe it and clean it.
That's why back then they would only speak for seconds because they were too busy with the technical mumbo jumbo. I mean, can you imagine doing a talk show or doing like a long spiel and then you have to do that? Of course, it's gonna be hard. So that's why they were always like kind of generic. They were always like, okay, our next song coming from Michael Jackson, the latest from his album Thriller, while he's doing cleaning the record and
Yeah.
putting it in and playing.
They'd
I mean,
like put those like,
he's like
stuff like, oh, like,
delaying tactics, like delaying
oh.
tactics. But for me, having never had a job of that nature where I had to press this button, I have to press this button, I have to play this, and then I have to talk in between. I thought I was just going to talk. I thought somebody was going to do all that stuff for me, and I was just going to talk. Like I turn on the mic and talk. But no, I had to do all the stuff, the playing the music, selecting the track. That was what kind of made it difficult for me initially when I started radio. And my first night, this was a UR97, Ultimate Radio UR97, and Mr. Bass, Mr. Don Lanzar, like didn't even like bother to train me, man. It was
What?
like Don was like, he was the program director. Don was like, okay, Rod, okay, you just hang out with the technician at night. So I'd like to give a shout out to our midnight tech at the time, Mr. Noni Las Piñas. He was this long hair guy who was my guide. Basically, he was like, okay, lang na ba? He was like guiding me. And then all I had to do, because at night, all we had to do was do a time check. So this was like, I remember a Chow King sponsorship, right? So I had CD1, CD2. CD1 was playing. I had CD2 ready, right? So I
Right.
would, when CD1 would end, I would do my spiel, this time check, blah, 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 and then play CD2. And then we had like the mini disc in between. And I remember he was watching me because he had to record the spill for the client. As soon as the song was about to end, and I think it was "Waiting for Tonight" by J Lo or something. I remember like pressing eject on the CD1, so I ejected that, and I freaked. But then I realized, okay, it's okay because that's the song that ended, right? So instead of stop, I pressed eject, so the CD came out. I was like, okay, that time check was brought to you by Chowking. And then I pressed the next CD, and I pressed eject again, and the thing ejected. And the technician like ran in. You because our setup at UR at the time was there was this big glass where like
Right.
typical
Right.
radio station. You're in front of the tech room, so
Right.
he could see what I was what I was doing. He ran in,
But how would he
on
know that you press eject if he's like facing you and I mean, you were
no no
face to
no
face, yeah?
no. He could see my face, man. He could see my like. And I was obviously giving him the signal of distress. I was like, and no song was playing. No song, and they, these techs know they've seen this before. So he comes running in, and it's like, it's okay, mate, it's okay, mate, it's okay, because no videos back then, nobody could
Did you
see. So
turn off the
they,
mic? Did you turn off the mic? So you were
dude,
like what?
I did
Dead
not
air.
know.
Was it a
It was
dead
dead
air?
air. It was dead air, and then
All
he
right,
like
dead
pops
air.
it back in, and then plays a random song, and then we check the recording, and you know what? I didn't even give the time. I just said that time check was brought to you by Chow. I didn't even give the time. And that night, for me, was like, holy crap. Like I'm not showing up here tomorrow. Like I'm not doing this. And I don't care how much I'm getting paid. I'm not doing this. This is too much work. It was like, I was just, I would just party and have fun. I don't need this stress in my life. So I associated immediately with stress because I wasn't used to pressing the buttons, timing it right, doing it, whatever. It wasn't even the talk that I had the problem with. And then I got into the talk part because I got that operating thing. I was able
You
to
figure it
sort of
out.
figured it out, and I got the thing going. I was told to record my show. I
Right.
recorded it, right, on tape, and I never listened to it. I just thought I was doing fine and everything. One time, I decided to listen to it in my car, so I popped in the tape, listened to it in my car. I was like, "Holy crap! I sounded like a freaking robot." Like I was like, "Ultimate Radio, yeah, 97. It's about like no swag
I think.
whatsoever.
Okay, hang on,
No,
hang on.
no
Here's the
swag,
thing.
dude.
Here's the thing.
It
I
was
think. I
terrible.
think we still sound the same. You still sound the same. I still sound the same. But it's because of the confidence that we
The
have now.
confidence,
The
no
confidence.
swag. Yeah.
We sound the same, but it's just because of
Oh
the confidence that we have now.
God,
That's what makes a difference. So I think it's
sounded
it's
so
yeah.
stiff.
It takes time to get that
It
confidence.
sounded so stiff, and I kept getting a phone call from this guy who I know it's obviously like some radio vet. 'Cause he would always call me and correct me, and I didn't take it against him. I appreciate it, but this guy would always call me and say, "It's not thank you, it's thank you." Like he would always correct me, and I know it wasn't Mr. Bass because I know it was Mr. Bass's voice, and it wasn't him, and it wasn't our
It's not
manager
thank
either.
you. It's thank you.
It
Bite
it,
me.
it was a
That's what
it
I would
was a
do. That's what I would
it,
do.
but he would always call me and he would always correct me, and I like okay, I appreciated that, but
See, because you were raised that way. Your dad's a diplomat. Your mom's a lawyer, and you
yeah.
would say thank you. Me, I would be like, what? Who the heck are you? Bite
Yeah,
me.
I know. No, but
I got the mic. You
I'm
listen.
I'm I'm used to being critiqued like openly, publicly. I don't take it against people because I think I'd rather have that kind of honesty than people, like people saying stuff behind my back and not giving me a chance to redeem myself. I think that's kind of unfair, and I think a lot of that happens here in the Philippines where people talk about behind people's backs and they don't give the person a chance to redeem or validate themselves. He's like, how would I know? Like I'm a newbie here. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. It's like that thing in the restaurant that says, if I'm doing something wrong, tell us. If we're doing something right, tell others. You see that in
Right.
the restaurant, right? And I
No,
kind
I've
of would
not seen
want
that in
that.
restaurants. Where
Oh,
did you see
yes.
this?
Well, I've seen that in the restaurant. Like if we're doing something wrong, tell us.
That's
If we're
actually
doing
cool.
something right, tell others. Because I really hate that drama crap. Because I'm not a mind reader, man. Like I'm not. I have better things to do than spend time figuring out if you're mad at me or not, or if I did something wrong or not.
Right.
We're all
Right.
adults here. Tell me, like a man. Yeah, I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna wait for you to freak out and me not knowing what the heck's going on. So I kind of appreciated that, though I did not know who this person was, but to whoever that person was, I guess, obviously maybe he heard potential and decided to correct me rather than insult me because we've had a lot of hate, man. I'm sure you've had a lot of hate.
I had a
I'm sure
lot of hate.
you've had a lot of phone calls and like, you're not
Yeah,
bad,
yeah,
peace out,
yeah. But the
whatever.
thing was, my dad hated me. You can't hate me more than my dad.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's
exactly,
like I don't
exactly.
care.
There
My
you
dad
go.
already hate me. I don't give
That's
a.
that's the
You know what I'm
biggest critic.
saying?
That's the biggest critic right there.
Because
So
see, my dad
yeah,
told me. My dad told me you sound like a cockroach, dude. That would have crushed my heart. You know
don't
that
do that when I'm drinking coffee, man. I'm
like
wearing my
he
shirt that
actually
I've
said
never
that. You
worn
sound like a
before.
cockroach. You're never gonna be someone. You're never gonna be anybody. You're never gonna be a radio DJ. Give it up. That's what he told me. I was
And
like,
look at you
what?
now. You're in
Yeah,
Japan.
I'm
Well,
not a
no longer
DJ.
a DJ, but still running our mouths, right?
But yeah, so the thing was, like, I think my dad was like, I don't know if he was serious or if he was just testing me. But the thing was, if I could take it coming from my dad, I could take it from anybody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm
I
like,
think I
I
think
don't
that's
care.
something we have in common. Like I have no problem. Like if you have words to say to me, go ahead. I'm not perfect. I know that. That's if nobody walks around this yeah, what I'll
Gabby,
just like
that's a very good question. That's a very good question because I never asked my dad that. I should have asked him, like, "Hey, Dad, have you ever talked to a cockroach? How the heck would you know?"
maybe thinking like,
You see, you're smarter than I am, Gab. I should have asked my dad that. Oh my
well,
goodness.
no, what are you talking about? You want to know how a cockroach sounds like? Listen to Iceman. That's basically Iceman. I've
Yeah,
already told you
exactly,
what a cockroach sounds like.
exactly.
What are you talking about? What are you
Have you
asking?
ever talked to a cockroach, Dad? Yeah, you.
How, Dad, how would you know what cockroach sounds like? Because I hear you. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh
All
man.
right, so today for a Monday, okay. If y'all wondering what we're wearing, Iceman's always dressed up. I always just wear a t-shirt, like usually borderline pambahay clothes. So on Mondays, we do Monday makeovers where we wear clothes or shirts that we don't get to wear anymore because of pandemic. Like we don't get to go clubbing or partying. So we wear the clothes. And this shirt I've never actually really worn. It's a Uniqlo shirt. And I bought this supposedly for like a reunion or something, but I
Mhm.
decided to wear something else. So it's one of those clothes that I have in my closet that I never wear. I'm not a dressy guy. I don't like dressing up, so I'm just a t-shirt and jeans dude. So I decided I'd wear it now, and I'm just thankful it still fits. Because it's kind of it's like when I say fit, I mean fit. I mean like, oh, it's nearing its Suman stage, but it still fits. So I decided to wear it
You better
only
wear
on
it
Mondays.
now.
Yeah, I know. So it's the first time for me to actually wear this, unless I wore this someplace else. I just don't remember. But anyways, what's the story on your shirt, Ice?
No. This is just one of the shirts that I bought. It's summer here, so I
Okay,
have tons of.
what is that?
I
Hollister?
have.
What is it?
It's no, it's
American Eagle?
American Eagle,
American Eagle.
and
Okay,
American
nice.
Eagle closed here in Japan, so
Oh,
you
really?
cannot find an
Oh
American
my
Eagle
god.
here. I don't know if
All
they still
American
have it
Eagle.
in like
They do.
the
They do. They still have it at SM here.
you see, you're lucky because the last American Eagle
But
that we went to was in Tokyo, and they informed us that they were gonna close
but
down.
there was
And
one shop that closed here. Real like it wasn't open for like it wasn't Hollister. Was it Hollister? I'm trying to. Yeah, I think it was Hollister. We had a Hollister here for like just like maybe a year, and it closed. This was even before the pandemic. Yeah, whatever happened to that shop? Was that called Hollister? I remember there was a Hollister at SM Lanang, and it closed. So matirang matibay, I guess. So your cap. What is your cap? I can't really see
oh,
what it
that's a
says.
Disney cap. I got it. Yeah, I went to Disneyland and I got this cap,
Okay, nice.
and it's a Mickey Mouse cap. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of
So
caps, this is one of my most prized possessions. It took me a while to get this cap. I went hunting for it in Hong Kong, but it's I don't really. I'm not a luxury items kind of guy,
is that
but
a
uh,
Giordano? No.
no man, it's dude, it's starts with a G, ends with an I. Jumichi.
Giorgio Armani.
Yeah, no. Anyway, it's my one of my prized possessions because Conor McGregor has one.
Conor
Anyway,
McGregor.
I went hunting for this one. Yeah,
Gucci. God damn it.
yes, yeah.
Gucci. I can see it.
Because they have one that has like the bee and stuff. So yeah. All
This
right.
guy is
Anyways,
a cap person. Glenn Ford. He's a
is
cap
he?
person. He's a
Yes,
sneakerhead.
Glenford. See, I'm a cap guy. But I don't really like collect specific like teams or whatever. Like I kind of like because I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy. So if I wear a cap, like I kind of go for like I have a cap that my mom gave me. This one, which is this is like this cap is my mom I think got this in Las Vegas, and it's a watch brand that I cannot afford and will never be able to afford. But for those who know watches, they know. So I also wear this, and this one, a lot of people probably don't mind this, but guys like Justin Timberlake and stuff wear this cap. It's one of those generic like trucker caps, but you get
Right.
this at
But at least
like
you guys who wear cap for fashion, yes? Because
yeah. I guess for me,
yeah,
like I'd
right.
wear a cap because like yeah, and for those who know, like only those who know, like I kind of like that. I want to
Gabby as
fly
well.
under the radar. I don't want to wear stuff that's like
Right.
kind
See?
of
Me, I
super
have to wear a
popular.
cap. I don't have hair anymore. I have to put on a cap. Plus
Yeah,
I
well,
have
we're
this surgery mark right here.
we're
It's
all
like
getting
my,
there, man.
badge of honor. Yeah. So
Yeah, we're all getting
it's
there. We're
mainly
all
because
getting
of
there.
that. I could just like shave my head, but after I had that surgery, so it's like sort of, I don't know, psychologically, I don't feel safe without anything on my head. So I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
put something on my head.
So it's dual purpose. Dual
It's
purpose.
dual
It's
purpose.
all
Yeah.
yeah, fashion and protection.
Right. And yeah, right. So yeah,
Yeah.
caps, they're just a
So
part of life now.
so our Monday discussion, we're talking about problems, but we don't want to be downers. So we want to be upbeat and kind of positive about it. So we're talking about what are we talking about? We're talking about
We're
the
talking about
bright side, and
yeah, so we're facing a lot of problems right now, but in what ways are things better today than we were when we were growing up, you know?
yeah. So we can talk
And
about yeah. Go.
what's a bucket hat? What's a bucket hat? I'm sorry, like what's a bucket hat? Do you know what a bucket hat Is
You know what? I don't. Maybe it's like a
I
hat that's like a bucket.
yeah, I'm sure.
Benford, can you elaborate? Because I'm not.
Yes.
Because I only wear a specific type of hat. Like Iceman knows this. I don't wear the
Yeah, I
master
only
plan
wear this
hats.
type.
I don't wear
Yeah, I
that
can wear
stuff.
that, but
I don't look good. I don't look good in it. I wear the regular hats, like the one that just have like a small kind of, it just has to fit right. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. So we're talking about that. So when we say, how are things better today, you can attribute that to a lot of things. Maybe, obviously internet has played a big role in making life convenient. But then again, obviously there's a negative side to that too. But we'll try to talk about how it's improved our lives and how it's made the communication with loved ones, much easier. Maybe it's saved a lot of relationships in the process and created a lot of jobs in the process. So we can talk about the internet, transportation, the piece of fare. It's become more affordable.
now
Oh,
that's a
buck.
bucket hat.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
bucket hat.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out
Looks
who wears
cool.
that stuff. I'm
I
thinking
can't rock that. I can't rock that.
Maybe Ashton Kutcher wears that.
No, 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 no.
Pharrell,
No, no.
Pharrell, Pharrell
What
wears
band was
that.
that? No, what band was that?
Um,
Someday we'll
Yeah,
know.
New Radicals, New
New
Radicals, the
Radicals. Yeah,
New Radicals. Yeah, but they
New
were they,
Radicals. Yeah.
they were rocking that before it became popular. They were rocking that before it became big.
All right. No, I can't rock
So,
this one. It's like I would look stupid with this one.
what about a beret, like a Kangol beret, like
A beret. Yeah, I think I can
yeah,
rock a beret,
yeah. I think I
especially
seen
if it's
you
winter. I
rocking
would
it.
go for beret on winter.
Yeah, the Kangol one. I've always wanted one. I think my mom has one. The one with the kangaroo.
Right.
The,
Yeah, I think that's expensive.
it is expensive. It is
All right. No,
expensive.
I can rock a beret,
Um,
not a Congo beret. If it's expensive, I can't rock that.
yeah, it's
You know
expensive.
me, I have rules with these things.
Yeah,
Even with
yeah,
shoes, I have
but
rules.
I know, but your rule is like quantity. My rule is like quality. Like I will have like one or two caps, but these two caps will be worth all your caps.
Probably. Probably. You're right. You're right. No, not probably. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Not because I don't wear them every day. Like Anyway, so
Mhm.
let's talk about it. So how is okay? So now, yeah, you guys have to understand where we're coming from. Though I am several years older than Iceman, trust me, he's several years more mature than I am, and we kind of meet halfway because of that. He remembers exactly the same stuff I remember. I can't bring up anything that he can't relate to. So we come from the same sort of gen, growing up. And like I always tell him, we're kind of lucky
Generation
because
stupid.
yeah, generation ignoy. Like
Generation
we
lazy.
we literally
We
like
can't
grew
even
up
handle buttons.
we grew up from a generation where or from an era where we would actually believe that a pare will come out of our wound. I mean, we literally believed stuff that our parents or elders would tell us, and it would really literally like scare us for real, and we would believe it. Which whereas if I say something like that to my kid, he would just give me that look. He'd be like, "Really, Dad? Really?
Yeah. Stupid, Dad. You're stupid.
Really, Dad? You think I don't have Google that? Really, Dad?" So and we crossed that. So from that era to the 90s where it was like, cell phones and stuff, and then to like the internet. Now this era where it's full on modern technology, we experience all of that. So we kind of appreciate the conveniences of today because we experienced the inconveniences of yesterday. Like I'll say this, Ice, when was your first plane trip? When was the first time you boarded an airplane?
Dude, I was 25.
See,
I was 25. I went to Manila for a job training. So that was
25
the
years
first
old.
time I left the bow,
25.
and that was the first time I ever boarded a plane.
First time you
So
boarded
I've
a
heard
plane.
a lot of
25.
stories,
Yeah.
and like it's very difficult to
You want to know how
um
old my son was when he boarded the plane for the first time?
what months?
4 months.
4 months, yeah. So me, no, I was
Four
25,
or five
man.
months. So
See, so it's like,
see,
yeah,
I mean, back then, I mean, just and that plane trip with my son, that was not even necessary. That was just a vacation to go to Manila. So, I mean, how will you even remember any of that? But it's just become so easy. Like literally, there's piece of air. When you took that plane trip to Manila, that was a necessity because it was a job. So I'm pretty sure you spent for your plane ticket. You remember how much it was back then? Maybe 1.5.
It was reimbursed. The company paid for it, like eventually, but I don't remember it. Was it 3,000, 4,000? I'm
Yeah,
not
maybe
sure.
around. Yeah.
Maybe around
So,
that.
so how was it?
Around the
Were
area.
you freaking out when it was taking off, or you were like,
No, no,
oh,
no, no. I wasn't.
or you were
It
fine? You
was,
were
yeah.
fine.
Like I told you, they were telling me, oh, it's so difficult to put on the to buckle the seat belts and stuff. But it was no. It was just you just slip it in. And that's it. And they were like,
they were
oh, it's so difficult. Like I'm like,
they
well,
were playing. They
how?
were playing with you, man.
Yeah, I know. They're like, oh, it's so difficult. It took me minutes to figure it out. I was like, what the heck were those guys talking about? Just like you slip it in, that's it. It's finished.
Yeah, see, 25 years old. First time for Iceman who get on a plane was he was 25 years old. Like the people out
Yeah,
there, the young ones out there. You're like, what? How old were you when you first? Okay. Have you been to Boracay?
never.
Okay. I guess I can't. I can say the same for me. I haven't been to Boracay, and I'm pretty sure 90% of the millennials out there have been to Boracay, but they've never been to their parents' room.
Right?
I like it's just it's a must visit, I guess. I don't know because of La Boracay. All right, so talk about conveniences and inconveniences. Back then, when you a typical school day, you had to go to school, wake up in the morning.
Right.
How do you commute or go to school? What was your means of transportation? Did your dad drive you to school?
There were times that he did. There were
College,
times that I
college.
had to take a
Let's
jeep.
talk college now. Let's talk college.
No, I, I, I commuted.
See, you commuted.
So
So
jeep, of course.
from
I'm not
Maawa,
rich.
what was your route? You take a jeep to Matina Canto? Is that
No,
how
I
it
think when I
works?
was in university, there were already jeeps that would go straight to Ateneo. So it was just a one.
From
You know,
Maa?
yeah, it was just a single ride. So
Oh,
it wasn't that.
nice. Okay.
It
Well, that's
wasn't that
good for
bad.
you because I ours was like
And I
tricycle.
didn't have to take the tricycle. Like some people
Yeah,
be
ours
living in
was
the village and they
tricycle.
have to get on a tricycle. Then they would
Yeah,
probably
because you were along the
have a 10 minute.
highway.
Yes, they
Your house was like along the highway.
yeah. I don't have to do that. Like with the tricycle thing, just to get to
Yeah,
the canto, and from the canto they
yeah,
would take a jeep,
yeah.
then another jeep somewhere. No, it was just
And
single
now
ride, and I would be in Ateneo.
the kids now. I'm not saying for all. I know there's a lot of kids out there that still commute. I don't know if
But
commuting is
see,
easier now. Maybe it was easier back
no,
then,
you know what? See,
right?
these things. No, I mean, yeah, but I'm the first thing that pops into my head when we talk about you know
Problems.
um the way things are before and how things are so easy now is when meeting with friends. It's not even about going to school, it's meeting with friends. Because back then, we didn't have cell phones.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So we would like talk Friday night. All right. Okay. Let's meet tomorrow at the mall.
You,
All right. What
you,
time? At 2
what
o'clock.
mall? There were no
All
malls
right.
back then. Maybe Victoria
Victoria
Plaza.
Plaza
That
was
was it.
around.
That was it. Yeah. Okay.
Victoria
Okay. So
Plaza's a mall. So,
you
okay,
know what?
let's meet at Victoria Plaza. Right.
You know what
Then
was big
I,
back then? You know
what?
what was big?
What?
The cinco landline phones. You pay
Yes.
five
That
pesos,
one.
right? Because that's when you
Yeah.
can
But
call your
then
friend, right?
But then it's still cheaper to go to the payphones, which is what, 2 pesos for 3 minute calls,
I
right?
don't think I ever used the payphones here.
No, I
I
because
know there
okay,
were payphones, but
our meeting
yeah.
spot was at Dunkin'
Dream
Donuts,
World
right by the escalator. No,
at
no, no,
Victoria
no,
Plaza.
Dunkin'
Ours was
Donuts.
Dream
Yeah.
World. Ours
All
was
right.
Dream
So
World.
Dream World, no, we would be like at the second floor,
Dunkin' Donuts.
outside Dunkin' Donuts, so
Mhm.
that we could look at the people, coming
Oh
up from
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
escalator.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
can see the pretty girls coming up,
The
and
Dunkin'
like you can
Donuts
see all. Yeah.
where the window was the arch thing,
Yes,
right?
yes,
If you
that
look out,
particular,
yeah, okay,
yeah, that
got
particular
it, got it,
spot. So
got it.
we're always there, and I always have a friend, Jimbo, look, Master Yoda. All right, Master Yoda. He's always late. We would.
Okay,
All right, okay. Meeting times at 2 o'clock, dude. 3:30. He's not there yet.
really?
You can call him. Well, you can call him on the landline, but then
You have
the
to
Aya
pay
would
five
pick up.
pesos.
Yeah, we have to pay 2 pesos. We have to like, hey, anybody has like a peso, then a peso, then we have to like, ask, everyone like, oh, come on, let's chip in so that we can call him.
So
Then
you
when we
guys couldn't
call
really
him,
do anything until he's there,
yeah, we
right?
can't. So we call him like, excuse me, is Master Yoda there? And the Aya would say like, no, he just left, but he's
Yeah,
still
that's true.
taking a
That's
shower.
true.
Then he would
That's
be there
true.
at 4. It's like
That's
we
true.
waited 2 hours and we can't leave him
That's
because,
true.
well, you're friends. It's like we have that
Yeah.
code, like walang iwanan. And
Little trivial things like that, like
oh
meeting up with your
man,
friends, was like a hellish experience back then. Because like I mean, just imagine meeting up with your girlfriend or your date. I mean, I mean, remember when we had eyeballs, those EBs, like yeah, Crossline or maybe the radio breaker thing, and you would like meet up with somebody. Our meeting place was always Dream World at Victoria Plaza, which was like our version of Giftgate, right? And I don't know if I had problems with like the time of people showing up, because I guess I didn't mind because it was at a mall, like it was at Victoria Plaza. So if they were late, I would just like go around, like I'm a mall
yes,
rat,
but
so
imagine if you left, then they came. It would be hard to find you.
that's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
No, no,
Because you're like somewhere.
yeah, that's true.
Now you,
Like,
you could just like text
yeah.
or call, like, hey, where
Okay,
you at?
well,
I'm like,
when
well,
did
I'm
you
here at.
first when did you first get your cell phone? When was your first cell phone
I
then?
think I was in fourth year college. I think I was what, like almost 20 at that time.
What was your
So I got my
first
first cell
mobile
phone.
phone?
It's a 5110. It's a Nokia 5110.
Did you buy it
And
with
I
your
was I
money?
was
Was it a
late. I
gift?
was late. When I
Was
was
it a
in
gift?
third year or second year, um, my sophomore year in uni, people had cell phones. I didn't. So it was late it's already late when I had it. So I was
Yeah.
like fourth year. I had a cash gift from one of my ninangs, and I asked my mom to, like add a little bit more so I can get my first cell phone, which is a Nokia
Do you
5110.
remember where you bought it?
Of course I did. I bought it at Victoria Plaza. What was that company? What was that store? I
Not tech
forgot,
phone.
but
Not tech phone.
not I do not remember, but it's somewhere in
Okay.
Victoria Plaza, and it was on sale. I think is 3210 was already out at that time,
Did you
or
have
was it?
the Winnie the Pooh acetate?
No, I did not. I just
Did
had
you have
like the
lights?
original like
Installed
navy
lights?
blue case. No,
Okay.
I didn't have that. I just like the navy blue case. I liked it like like that, with the navy blue color, rocking
Did
it
you
like
load it with
solid
like a
colors.
100 peso smart card right away, or was it smart or
I
globe?
think it
What
was like
were you?
a 300, a 300,
Whoa,
like
mayaman.
300 prepaid card load. No,
Was it
because yeah, I told you
was
it
it
was it
smart or
was a
globe?
gift.
Was it smart or globe? Do
It
you
was a
remember?
smartphone.
Smart. Okay.
0919 um 0919 That was
Oh,
my
that was
first
later
number
then.
ever.
That was later, because mine was 0918. I was still 0918. Yours was later then.
Yeah,
Zero nine one nine, right?
because you're rich. You have phone when they came out.
No,
That's what it
my
was.
college life, I never had a mobile phone. I got my first mobile phone. I
But
was
you're older
already.
than I am. But you're older than I
Yeah,
am,
that's true. That's true. And my
right?
dad bought it. I
So
didn't even ask for it. But yeah. So all right.
see,
So
me, I
the
begged for it.
conveniences.
I begged for
Yeah.
it. They wouldn't even give it to me. Mom, I want a phone. We can't even
Yeah.
eat. What are you talking about?
All right, okay. All right. We won't go there. So let's
All
talk
right,
about okay.
all
So
right,
the
all right,
problems. Okay.
all right.
What about
Going
okay?
for
What
like
about girlfriend? What about girlfriend time though? Like if you had a
girlfriend
girlfriend
time.
back then, like if you had a girlfriend back then, because now I mean I'm not saying that kids are checking in hotels and motels and stuff left and right, all right, but obviously, they
Well, we
can
would
go
do
and
it in the
house.
bushes back then.
That's when the term pangkai was invented, right?
Let's
Pangkai.
find a bush.
You
Let's
know?
find a bush. All right, there it is. You think people can see us there? Like, I don't think
Dude,
so. I think we're
let's
safe.
find let's find a wall for crying out loud. That's our motel right there. Short time, at the wall.
Oh
I
man,
mean,
this is
okay,
not
I
going.
know. No, 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 no.
This is
I know.
going south now. It's going
Look,
south.
all I'm saying is nowadays, if you had a girlfriend or if you had a relationship, you have a ton of places to go to eat. You can always hang out at Starbucks. You can, if you wanted to go outing, you can go to like Buddha. You can go to Mati. You can so many places that's within reach. If I mean, I know of couples who just go to Singapore or Manila, just balikan. It's like I mean, these are people who obviously have the money to burn. But even if you had money to burn back then, it wasn't really that easy, and you didn't really have very many choices. Like, where would couples go if you wanted to watch a nice movie? What was the best movie theater back then? Probably JS Gaisano when it first opened, right? Remember JS
Yes,
Gaisano
yes,
when their cinema opened at the top floor?
yes,
I
yes.
remember watching Space Jam
Well,
there.
well,
I remember,
When Victoria was, like when
yeah, yeah,
Victoria came
yeah,
out,
yeah. I guess that was
and
big
their
deal
cinema
too.
there were, like they were pretty decent. They were good, but then it got
back
old.
then,
Yeah, it
back
got
then,
old.
but
Yes.
but
Then
but
Jace
now it's like
Gaisano came about. Then that was the, I think that was the best cinema. And I know
Yeah.
who's a movie freak. Glenn Ford is a movie freak.
Oh, really?
He would watch movies. I think every
Huh.
week, or should like every night. Was it every night? Because he would watch movies like every like he because he was my teacher when
Did
I
he
was
get
in
passes?
high school.
Did he get free
No, he
passes?
just loved. Well, I think he loves movies, so he would just like go to movies all the time.
Really?
And I think
Wow.
sometimes by himself too. Like I did that as well. I go to movies by
Nothing wrong
myself.
with watching movies by yourself. You know,
But yeah, well,
I don't see anything wrong with it.
so but yeah, but I think that was the time when Victoria Plaza was big. So I think yeah, Glenford used to
Okay.
go there. But then
So
it got
okay,
old. Then JSK Sano
what
came about.
why is it more convenient now? Because we have Netflix now. Because we have like home theater systems now. We don't even have to go to a cinema
Dude,
because we have
dude.
IMAX now. Because of IMAX, is that what you're saying? Like back then, our movies were crappy, and now it's like we have IMAX.
No,
We get to watch the
okay.
movies on the
We
same. Okay,
okay. Here's
one
the
question.
thing:
If you remember,
you don't have to buy a whole set of encyclopedia. You don't have to buy that for your kid,
okay, all right.
right?
For
Because you have the
knowledge, for
internet,
knowledge.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So see, it's
yes.
so convenient.
Yeah. You can
Before I
actually
had to go to the
download an
library.
encyclopedia as an app. It's like an app. You
Exactly.
can
Yeah.
get the
Before,
Bible as an app.
if I have assignments, all right, Glenford gives a lot of assignments when I was a kid. When I
You
was
have to go to an
in high school.
encyclopedia.
I have to go to the library just to
That's
research on
true.
things,
That's true.
social
That's true.
studies,
That's true.
English, like values and shit.
And
So it's like,
now,
oh man.
do you even need to go to the library? Is there even a reason to go to the library? I mean,
Well, yeah,
okay. Here's the thing. I remember when my sister gave me her old Kindle. You know what a Kindle is, right? It's like
yeah, yeah,
a book,
yes,
an ebook. So my sister gave me her old Kindle, and I was like blown away because I was like, "Whoa! I have
right.
a Kindle now. I can read books, like tons of books in this little thing, like a tablet type thing." So I started downloading lots of free stuff, and then I realized you can actually do that with your phone. You can actually do that with your iPad. So now the Kindle is not being
You
used.
didn't know,
No, because I mean, when it first came out, it was like a big deal. You know, when the Kindle came out, because it felt like reading a book because the display was black and white.
right?
It's easier on the eyes, you know, and you never really think about reading books on your phone back in the day. But then they had these apps like Apple included like books now on your phone. So now I
Yeah,
read my books through that. So
right,
you know,
right.
but back then, like you said, you had to go to the library. We were fortunate
Mm,
enough to have a set of encyclopedias because my lolo like bought a set.
yeah,
But so we always had the encyclopedia. But I remember maybe, you know, a kid back then who had to do his thesis or a book report or whatever, like a particular topic, and had to go to the library. I actually did go to the Ateneo Library. I remember for English 21 when we did
what, to take naps?
our debate.
Did you go
No,
there to take naps?
to follow my crush.
Okay. John is saying the good side about not having phones then was meetups are less likely to be canceled once it's set. Yes, it is set in stone because you cannot cancel anymore because you gave your word. Your
Yes,
word is your bond back then. All
absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
See, even Alain is saying, is it Alain or Elaine? Like,
I-
what do you think, Elaine? Alain?
I'd say Alain, probably,
All
or
right.
AJ. Let's just go with AJ, man.
All right, AJ. I haven't thought about the time when you need to meet with friends without phones. That's real, of course. Yes,
Yeah.
I can't remember that time anymore. That
No,
just
okay,
those
okay.
particular
Let me ask
experiences.
you, how did that even start? Like, if you were supposed to meet up with your friends at the mall or wherever back then, before cell phones, how did that conversation start? Dude, let's meet up at this place at
No,
4
because okay,
p.m.
usually
And
it's like
like, that's it.
Saturdays, like
Nobody will
movie.
change the schedule.
It's movie day on Saturdays. Like, okay, let's watch a movie. Let's meet up at 2. All right.
Okay.
Well, because the meeting spot is at that place, so we know. Like, all right, let's meet up at 2 Victoria Plaza, and that's it. Then the waiting game begins. All right. Yeah. And
All right.
Master Yoda is always late.
Okay.
Okay. Now we are pampered with streaming. All right, Glenford. Before you got to go to a cinema to appreciate a film, but don't you
Yeah.
miss the cinema experience? Because I miss
Me.
that. I miss going to
I
the
do.
cinema.
I do.
I love
I
Netflix.
do.
I
I
love all these
still,
streaming
yeah.
apps, but I miss the cinema
I still
experience.
love going to the cinema. Something that no, I think my favorite part in going to the cinema is I know this is really shallow. Are the trailers like when you get in early and they show
Yeah,
the movie trailers, and
I know.
it's and most of these trailers you've seen already, but for some reason it's like this summer, 2022. the ultimate Disney. Yeah, it's like when the guy makes an announcement and like, oh my god, I'm like, babe, watch this, watch this. I'm like
You know
bugging
what
my
Raj is gonna tell you now?
what?
Go to YouTube, Dad. Don't you know
I know,
YouTube?
I know. There's this. I subscribe to a specific channel about movie trailers. Like I know about the movies that are coming for the next 3 years. But, but what I'm
I
saying
know the
is,
movie's coming out in 2025.
when I go to a cinema, I really like I rush
It's
my
a
family.
it
Like
is a different
I
experience.
tell
It
my
is a
wife
different
and my son,
experience.
let's run, the wife is like, the movie's not gonna start yet. I'm like, but I want to
I
watch the
want to watch the
trailers.
trailers.
And here's the thing: like if you watch a Pixar or a Disney movie, they always
Right.
show a short movie. Remember?
Exactly. Exactly.
Remember? Like that I love a
Walt
you.
Disney and Pixar presents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that I
That's
love
like,
you know that I love a you trailer.
oh
You
yeah,
love me, I
yeah,
love
yeah.
you. Like, that they show that like before Moana, I think. I think
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
they show these like short movie clips, and I don't know. I'm a sucker for movie trailers. It builds up the excitement, and you're trying to figure out because they always have this like sign that says rated PG or rated
Mhm.
general, and you're guessing if okay, is this still a trailer or is this the actual film, right?
Right.
Because they
Yes.
don't
Yes.
tell you. They don't tell you. They just show trailer, 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 and then the next one you're like, this has got to be the actual movie, and then
Right.
you see the
Yeah, because
Marvel
they
girl.
they do something with the curtains too. It like
No, no,
it
not
goes
anymore.
wider.
Not
It
anymore.
goes
Not
wider.
anymore.
Really?
Not
Well, at least
anymore.
here in Japan, they still do that. Like the curtains go wider,
They
or the
do that.
screen go.
They,
Like
they do that in
goes
Bangkok.
wider. All
Speaking
right.
of Bangkok,
So you would
if
know that.
you
Oh, it's the main film now.
yeah,
It's the main attraction.
in Bangkok, like they make you stand up and they play the music of the king. The king has a theme song, so everybody
Wow.
stands up and you have to put
Oh
your
man.
whatever you have to pay respect to the king, and that's when you know that okay. Usually they do that during the last full show. They don't really do that like every showing.
Right.
Speaking of Bangkok, I'd like to send a shout out to CJ. He says, "I want a top hat." Not going to lie, I'm gonna try to find you one, CJ. All right, and
All right.
my tita Jay is watching too. She's with my dad. She's caring for my dad right now. My dad is in the Asian hospital. He
All right.
just
Get
went
well soon,
through.
Tito.
Yeah, he went through. Did you ever meet my dad?
Well, not really, but
No, it was
from
Billy
your
Kane who met my
stories.
dad. It was Billy
Yeah.
Kane who met my dad. Yeah, you met my story version of my dad.
Yes. You barely meet your. What are you talking about? You barely meet your dad.
I know. I barely. Yeah, that's true. Why would you even
How
meet my
can I
dad?
meet your
So
dad? Yes.
get well soon to my dad. He went through therapy. He's going through
All right. I'm sure
um
he'll be fine. He's a tough guy.
PT, like physical therapy. He suffered a stroke a couple of days ago. So get well soon to my dad. Obviously, prayers for him. So we're talking about the what's easier now that wasn't easy back then that we
Mm,
can appreciate. We're talking about just the internet alone. Just your mobile phone alone, the conveniences it brings you. Um, gosh, okay. From an artist perspective, I remember when I was a kid, I would always ask my Lola to bring home all her extra paper because she had a lot of printed material, because she worked at TEPED, Department of
right.
Education. So she had a lot of like papers that they don't need anymore. And rather than like discard it, I would ask her to bring them home because on the other side, it's still blank, right?
Right.
And I needed that paper to draw on because
Right.
back then you can't just buy a sketchbook, man. Those are
Right.
expensive. You buy, right? So, and
Right.
I always would draw. So she would bring me tons and tons of paper of old documents
Right.
with blank, blank pages in the back. Now you can download an app on your iPad and have not only all the paper you need, but in different sizes, in different textures, and in different. You can have all the different pens, all the different brushes, all the different mediums
You mean
and
now
tools.
or before?
Now,
All right.
back then,
Okay.
you needed to buy crepas, you needed to buy crayons, you needed to buy,
Right.
all these stuff.
Right.
Now you have an entire art set in one app. The one I have is Procreate. My son is using another app downloaded on his own. So
Right.
it's super uber convenient as compared to back then. Okay,
All
what is
right.
this two
So
times a
Glenford
month?
is saying it's 2 times a month, not 2 times a week. But then it's still, like 2 times a month. That's like from every week. I think in a week, I think he would watch it like 3 times. He would watch movies 3 times. So that's a big demotion right there. It's like
What
it's from
movies were
3 times.
these? Patikim na
Uh,
Pinya? What were these? Scorpio
no, no,
Nights?
no,
Hibla? What are we talking about here?
no, no, no. Like Glenn Ford, he was the one who introduced us to Dead Poet Society.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
crying I was
That's okay.
crying like a freaking baby that day. I
Hats
was
off
like,
to him. We were that was required watching for us in high school. We were required to watch that. Okay, did you cry when that guy killed himself?
yeah, dude, yeah,
Because his
that
dad
was the
was
part.
pressuring you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Well,
and
well,
it was so timely for us because we were like in second year and we were going through a lot of stuff. I
dude,
think, and okay,
well,
okay, just a
go.
story, short story. And this is a true one too, true story. Back then, when I went to join Holy Child, I enrolled there, and I told you about my experience. Yeah,
Yes.
I was from Assumption. Then my dad moved me to enrolled me in
The
City
public
High,
school. The public
and
school.
yeah, public school. It was a culture shock for me because I was private school my whole life. Then when I got in there, I wasn't in the special section, so I'm pretty sure like you understand, yeah, like the
Yeah, yeah,
public
of
school
course.
toilets, they're
Of course.
terrible. And I was just like culture shock, and oh man, I can't stay here. So I did not go to school. I skipped class for 2 months. Then long story short, my dad beat me up. Like, all right, okay, you're gonna, you know, if you want to
Long,
go to a private
long
school,
story short. No, we want the details, man. We want to know how your dad beat you up.
yeah,
Don't
well,
skip
he
that
threw
part.
a pot to my face. Then he
Then he
gave
gave
me
me a
like an
then
uppercut,
yeah, he
then
punched me
a
in the rib. Then he did
sidekick,
a
almost
he
broke my
elbowed
rib.
me. You
Right,
know,
yeah. But
he
then so
picked my
he was like, okay,
ears.
I will enroll you in a private school, but if you're not in the honors list, you will stop, going to school forever, and you'll just find a job or something. That scared the shit out of me. So when I
Okay.
went to like Holy Child, I started going there. I was in the middle section because we have sectioning there. So Glenn
Yes.
Ford was a teacher of the first section, right?
Okay. The smarty pants. The smarty pants.
Yeah, all the smart kids were there, or it's either you're really bad and they put you there. there was
Okay.
like one, there was like one guy they put there because he was just really bad and hopeless. But
Okay.
Glenford, I think he came up with the idea: just put him in my class and maybe we can rehabilitate him. And it did
Okay.
work. So it was his idea too. So then me, I wasn't. I was really doing well. I was studying hard, so I got really good scores. And I think he talked to me and he was like, "Do you want to be in the first section?" I was like, well, "I don't know. I don't want to be in the first section." And I will be what, the guy in the middle? No, I want to be number one in my section.
So you want to
I
be in the
wasn't.
worst section?
Yeah, no, I was not. I wasn't in the worst. I was in the middle. I
No,
was like
you
in the
want to be
middle.
the worst, so you'd be number one.
So I was
It's like
no,
the richest guy in Tondo. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, something like that. So it was
Would you
like he
rather be
was
the
talking
richest
to
guy in
me.
Tondo or the poorest guy in Forbes?
I
I'd
was
rather be
like,
the poorest guy in
man,
Forbes Park, man. Nobody's poor in Forbes. Are you kidding me?
I
All
was
right, go
having
ahead.
second thoughts, and he talked me into it. Eventually, I said yes. So I was in his class. So there were 43 of us in the final list, and we have that shirt. I'm one of the 43 because we had pride because being in
Yeah.
that section because we did a lot of great stuff. But then it created a ruckus because there was one guy who was one I think he was a member of the varsity team of
Hmm.
the basketball team. Then the guys from the other sections were like teasing him, and they were like, "Hey,
Okay.
hey, I think they're gonna trade you for him. I think Ice will go there, and they will give you to us. Like
Okay.
you will be demoted. You will be put
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
like the middle or the last section."
Section.
And they just like I think there was like a fist fight or something because
Yeah.
of that, but it wasn't true. They were just like trying to bully him or something. But then he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like he started beating up the guy because the guy was small, and yeah,
So it, wa- so it was such a big deal, huh?
it
To
was a
which
big
section
deal
you're in?
because
Okay.
at that time it was a big deal. I was like, all right, I was so happy, and that's the time when we had that particular
Okay.
film viewing, which is Dead Poet Society,
That
and
now
Seize the Day. Seize the
Dead
Day.
Poets Dead Poet Society. Now, I kind of knew what was coming because we were made to. That was required watching for us in I think in one of our English subjects when I was still
Were
in high
you in
school.
uni? No, high
No, no, I
school.
was high school in the
This is
states.
in the
This was
U.S.
required
All right, okay,
in the
this is in the
U.S. We
U.S.
were
All right.
required to like read 12 Angry Men, Fahrenheit 451, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth. We were required. There were a lot of requirements. Like, have you seen the movie Stand and Deliver?
Yes, I did.
We were
I
required to
think it
watch that.
Edward James
Lou
Olmos.
Diamond Phillips. Yes, Lou Diamond. That was
Yes.
an excellent movie. But anyways, so we were required to watch Dead Poet Society, and I kind of knew something bad was gonna happen because that guy's dad was Clarence Boddicker from RoboCop. Am I right? What?
Yeah, that guy.
The same dad from the '70s show, right?
Arrogant as F.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know that guy. He was like, was it the same guy? I think it was him. I think it was
I
Clarence
think well, I
Boddicker.
think so, yeah. I
But
hated his guts.
I kind of sensed it. Like I knew, okay, something's up. Like this guy is, it's not gonna end well. And lo and behold, yes, it did not end well. Now, for those who haven't seen Dead Poet Society, please do watch it. I know
Yes,
it's,
it is a
you know,
very,
it's
very powerful movie.
yeah, it is. It shows you how, you know,
How to seize the day. Seize the day.
and how some people, you know, some people can't come to grips with who they really are because they are so preoccupied with pleasing the people they love. They can't seize the day, and the only way they can escape is if they, you know, which is the case with that guy, right? He had to take his own
True.
life.
Did you know that that
Oh,
guy was in, the TV series House?
the
The guy
guy,
who
yeah,
killed
the guy,
himself?
yeah. I
He's
know
like
he's been
the
in a lot of,
oncologist there.
yeah,
The
he's been
the
in a lot
cancer
of
doctor.
he's been in a lot of he's been in several movies too. I think I'm not sure movies or series, but definitely a familiar face. And then yeah. So anyway, so you guys were made to watch that, and it wasn't required. It was your teacher Glenn Ford who made you watch it.
Yeah. He made us watch it
So how
because
did he
we
do that?
were
Like he brought you to the AVR, the
um
audiovisual room, and
well,
just told
Holy
you to
Child at
watch it.
that time we didn't have an audio visual, so we went to the library and we had a big, well, it wasn't even big. It was just a TV, a normal size TV, and we had was it a VHS player? Glenford, was it a VHS player or a Betamax? It should be VHS. It should be VHS.
It should be
It
at
wasn't
least
VCD,
VC.
I'm
It
sure.
should be at least VCD, man. Come on.
No. I think that was VHS. I think VCD wasn't a thing at that time. All
Oh,
right.
gee. Yeah. I mean, if this was because when we saw it, when I was in high school, that was still '90s, man,
See,
early '90s,
VH
maybe. Okay.
VHS.
All right.
Pinky. Sorry, were you there? How long were you at
Hi.
the backstage? How long were you at the
Finally,
backstage?
For a little while. A little
For a
while
little
too
while. I didn't
long.
see it.
Yes.
she
I
was
didn't see it.
spying on us. She was like, "Okay, let me see if these guys are making sense, and I'll join in. If they're not, I won't." And then she
I'm gonna
heard,
cut them off now. I'm just
and
gonna
then
I'm just gonna join now.
she heard Dead Poet Society, so she's like, "Okay, I'm joining in."
What are you guys doing?
No, we're talking about hang on,
Silly
hang on.
stuff.
Here it is. We're talking about this. We're
As
facing a lot of
usual.
problems, but in what ways are things
Okay.
better today than when we were growing up? All
Yeah.
right. So
For example, like Iceman mentioned, encyclopedia. Like back then,
yeah.
you had to read somebody's encyclopedia, go to the library to study. Now you can get all the information on your
Yeah,
phone, on
it's
the
either you
internet.
choose Groliers or a Britannica encyclopedia.
We
Ours was
had
Britannica.
Britannica.
we had
I think Holy Child had Grolier. How do you say
I
this?
think we
Collier. I
had
think it was
Groliers.
called. Wasn't it
Groliers.
Colliers?
I think it's
Colliers.
Groliers.
Grolier.
I've Groliers. I don't
Grolier,
know.
right?
Beats me.
So there's no Colliers.
Groliers
I
and I think there's
nah,
also Colliers.
Yeah, I think there's Colliers.
All right. Were there gargoyles encyclopedia? No.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is. There's Colliers. It's a real estate company.
All right. All right. Okay. Back then. Okay. AJ. Yeah, this is a really good point. Taking pictures is so different. You don't actually know what you look like
That's
until the film was
right.
developed. Not to mention,
That's
you have to consider the
right.
number of photos limited of the film roll.
That's
By
right.
12 shots lang niya, 12 shots. Let's save this one. 12 shots.
The most popular was 35 I think, or something, right?
I think so. But then there's
Yeah,
like
And
12
I used to
shots,
have that.
24 shots,
I used to have that
36.
Instamatic that you have to wind every
yeah,
after shot.
and,
Like,
and I think that's
and
why a lot of
cameras
the
were
pictures.
disposable for a while, right?
Some
Like, I think in
cameras
the
were. You
90s.
could buy
Yeah.
disposable cameras, but I think that's why a lot of pictures back then, you always had somebody who was like eating pancit, like, or
I
like some
know.
people were like their
Because you
eyes
don't
were
have
like
like
red.
20 to choose from because you had like
You can't
limited
choose,
slots.
and then you go there and you get the negatives, right? And then if you wanted
Oh,
copies,
yeah.
you had to bring the negatives,
You have to
and you had to
literally
like
have it
look at it,
recopied. That's insane,
recopied.
right?
And so the worst
Mhm.
part was you can't really take any like risque shots because the developer will see the pictures before you.
Yes.
But
Well,
then the good
I
part
think
of it
I
is you get
think it's the same
album
thing
for
right
every developed
now.
film.
Yes, you
Is it
do.
true?
You do get
Yeah, but it's like
album.
the crappy album. It's like cardboard, right? It's just
Yeah,
cardboard
but
and
it's
like it
something.
has like slip-on thing.
It's
I
Dude,
something.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
free. Beggars
yeah,
can't be
I
that's true.
choosers. What the
remember
heck,
it was
man?
That's true.
either
But not an
Agfa
album.
or Kodak, right? Agfa and
The
Kodak were the big ones,
the
like the big
Yeah.
Fuji. I
names.
think Fuji
Yeah,
came
the
out later as
Fuji. Yeah,
Fujifilm,
well.
yeah,
yeah.
Fuji.
Yeah, so
Right,
yeah,
right.
well, okay, so that's a good point. That's a good
Kodak.
point. Back then, it's like, and
Pakodak na to, Brad.
now you can take
Let's
pictures
go.
of
It's a
anything.
TikTok. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's why people
Kodak.
take pictures of anything. And back then, I'm sure
Exactly.
Iceman had his picture taken at the carousel in Victoria Plaza.
No, I did not.
Yes. Oh,
There are
No, I
these
did
yes.
guys
not.
wearing the chalecos, right? They're like members
Yeah.
of this photography
Yeah, yeah,
team
No,
or
no,
yeah.
no.
something, and
For,
they like
for some
approach
reason, I
you.
find that, I don't know. Like,
Cheesy.
not cheesy, but
You don't stand like this, Ice. Like when you have your picture taken.
for me, it's
What was it?
desperate. It's desperation. Like, oh, I really want to have a picture.
Okay, with
Like,
those
oh, I
guys,
really
you
want.
mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like, I
okay.
don't know.
Let me
Like you
ask you.
never you never had
Do they?
a vanity shot like of yourself, like a
No, he's
portrait
had.
or
I'm sure
something.
he's
Okay,
had.
no,
I
I'm
okay,
have
hang
sure.
on.
upstairs.
If
I
I'm
have.
sure
if you're
Ice is the
talking
kind
about
of guy with like
if
vanity
you're
shots of
talking
Like
if
this
himself.
one,
you're
like
talking
this.
about
Yeah, like
shots taken at Lito C or
Yeah, yeah,
Yoyong
yeah,
Prima, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think we did. I think I had, and with my
With the
friends as well.
girlfriend, like that.
With
You
the
know, like
With the
girlfriend, I think I
hugging.
the
did. I
bag.
think I did. I think we went. I think we went to the studio twice, but that's it.
Okay.
Oh
That's it.
no.
But not in the carousel. Not at Rizal
Okay.
Park.
Let me ask. Do they still put those pictures that these photographers take, like at a graduation or whatever, outside, and you get to choose
Yeah.
when you step out, like
They
at
I
a
think they
Well,
wedding?
still
yes.
do.
Like you
During
go
I
my
outside,
think they
there's like
still
graduation,
do.
pictures
yes.
laid out. I was
Yes.
always amazed at how quickly those got developed. I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Really? It's developed already? It's here? Like literally, it's like, and you want to buy the pictures that make you
Okay,
look bad.
at that particular time, at that particular time, that was the easy. That was the easy thing. Because maybe back in the days of our parents, that won't happen.
Of course.
They cannot see the pictures immediately. With us, when we graduated, and they had those pictures lined up outside the gym or outside the like the hall. See, it was like so fast. Now it's
Yeah.
even faster, because we
Yeah.
have it in our cameras. It's like, we have storage and stuff like inside the camera. But back then, that was like the easy part. Because like way back then, it's like it's probably different. You have to wait days probably until you
Yeah.
see your picture.
Yeah. I'm just wondering why what's it called did not take off. The instant camera, what is it called?
Polaroids.
The
The
Polaroids.
Polaroids.
Polaroids,
Was
The
it
the
thing
because it
with
was
Polaroids,
expensive?
they
It
tend
never
they tend
really
to fade. They tend to fade.
in
yeah, they
time.
tend to fade. Plus,
Yeah.
they're expensive too.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
Yes,
And the
very
quality
expensive.
was never really that good. I
I
mean,
think I think they're
you know,
catching on like nowadays. Like it's all it's a new thing that people. It's a new old thing that people are into because it's
there's this camera
vintage.
that's very expensive, Cam. Is Pinks. It's like I don't know if it's Leica or whatever, but
Mm.
there's like very artistic shots. It makes you take like certain artistic like Lumo. There's even like the Lumo. Is that what it called? Like you get like fisheye lens. It's a type of like camera for like artistic shots, and there's like a club for it. And there's also like those who take because I remember there's a shop in Greenbelt at the basement
Right.
that sells these super expensive cameras. But when you look at it, the cameras look kind of old school.
Mm.
I don't. And
But
if
is it a
anybody,
Polaroid camera?
no, it's not. They're
The
like are
instant
just
cameras.
like
No.
it's like no, it's like it's not like the high end like mirrorless Sony cams. No, it's not that. They're more kind of for artistic shots
All right.
and
All
the
right.
yeah, I think they take a certain special. They have a certain special look or quality to the
Instax.
photos.
This is what Reese has. Like
No,
Instax.
it's Instax is the new Polaroid, right? That's like the
Yeah,
new
yeah,
Polaroid.
yeah. I think it's from
Yeah, it's
Fuji Instax.
yeah. So,
I wanted to
anyways,
get one because of it's. I think it's nice. Like when you have a party and because it's digital cameras are digital cameras, but then Instax it's
I
something new
remember
that's old,
yeah, I think it's
I
something new
remember
Leica.
that's
like
old.
Leica, Leica camera. Those are the ones I'm talking about. They're made
Lumo.
in
like
Germany.
I did
Their
not.
lenses last a long time,
Lumo, right?
and they have a quality of the physical camera, so the images are also high quality. So,
I remember back then, like maybe 2010-ish, when I was in college, I would see all these people because DSLRs were all the rage, like everyone had one of those
you had
expensive
one, right?
DSLRs. Well, I had to have one for school because I took up photography. But the funny thing was, a lot of
Is it still
people
around?
bought. Yeah, it's still around. I don't really use it that often because I'm at home. What am I going to take photos of? And it was more of a necessity than an actual hobby or a passion. But I remember back then everyone had DSLRs. But the funny thing was, people were shooting in auto, so they were using it as a point and shoot
They
cam. Like
weren't making
Well, you
adjustments or
should.
the
Hang
yeah,
on,
anything.
the
hang on, hang
beauty
on.
is we
Are
can
you
adjust
telling me you
aperture.
shouldn't use DSLRs in auto?
I
I
mean, you
see.
Because
You
I've been
have
can.
using
No,
DSLRs
no,
in
no one,
auto.
no one's
you have
stopping you. But the
you
thing
have
is,
one
you can.
ice.
Yeah, but
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I have the
Okay.
D40.
Yeah,
That
but
was like the cheapest one.
the beauty of the DSLR is you can adjust things, to your liking
Yeah.
and I mean,
I
actually,
I
whenever
was
I
probably the
travel, I
only I
don't
was
even.
probably the only one that didn't get into that
There
bandwagon.
you
Everybody
go.
had one.
Is that a
Everybody had
D40?
one.
What is
It's a
Is that
that?
what you
D40.
is
A
that what you
D.
had,
It's a
Pigs?
A,
D40.
yeah, it's a
It's a D40.
D40. It's a D40, I think.
Is
I
that what
don't
you
use
had,
it that
Pigs?
much because it's heavy.
It is.
Uh,
Every time I travel, well, before I would bring it during my travels, but I realized it's not worth it. I'm not a professional photographer. I'm not going to join an exhibit or anything. I'm just going to, take photos of my dumb self posing at dumb things. So I just use my phone.
then
So
Reese gave this to me.
what is
Yeah,
it?
what is
Is it a
that?
Fujifilm?
It's XA5.
I
It's a
think
Fuji
is
XA5.
is that a
Oh, that's
mirrorless?
nice. That's
It's
nice.
a
That's actually
mirrorless.
very nice. I think
Mm.
that's one of the newer. Yeah, mirrorless is like the
Yeah.
technology
It's
now.
Reese's, and she gave it to me.
Yeah, nice,
Cool,
nice.
cool.
All right. Yeah. So you still
But then
take
you were
You're
saying
a
pictures?
very generous sister.
but now the phones are good. Like what phone do you have, Pinks?
Yes. I have, believe it or not, I have a 6-year old iPhone 6 Plus. It's a
You have a
6-year-old
6 Plus?
phone. Yeah. The thing is, I'm the kind of person that if it's not broken, I'm not gonna replace it. So
You have a point
unless
there.
Break
You
this
it.
have a point.
Break it
unless
already.
this one breaks, I don't. I mean, all my
If I'm
pictures
your
are.
friend, if I'm your friend, if
I'll
we're like
break it.
really good friends, I know we're friends, but
You
we're not
would
that,
break it.
tight.
You,
Yeah, I'm
you're
like,
you're gonna
hey,
break
Pinks,
it.
you tell me like, oh, I'm that person who thinks or who believes that if it's not broken, don't fix it. I'll just like, can I borrow your phone? Like,
And then throw it. Thank you. You'd be doing me a favor.
now it's broken. Get
But
a
yeah,
phone.
I don't know.
Get a new phone.
I stick to things until they break. So I'm just actually waiting. I'm not waiting for it to croak because I've gotten attached to this phone. It's been with me for a long time. I've traveled around with it. But yeah, it still works, man. I mean, it does its job.
So you take pictures now with your phone. Is that what it is? Like you
I
take
don't
pictures with
take
your phone anymore?
I don't take pictures. If you look at my Facebook page, I don't even post photos of myself or anything. They're just
Right.
memes. So
I
I'm not
envy
used to
you.
it really.
I envy you.
Oh,
I
I do that.
cannot stop because I have to
Oh,
take photos.
of
Now
yourself?
it's gone down now, but before this is I just like take
But
pictures
Ice, the
of
thing is
things
you have a
myself.
child. So I mean you have a subject, to take photos of. So that's completely understandable. But if
Really?
you're, I don't know, a 40-year-old man taking selfies, maybe you should reconsider. I'm kidding, I'm
I
kidding.
think you
Whatever
also
makes
draw
you happy.
pics. You're an
Yeah, I do,
artist.
I
You
do.
don't. So you have that form of expression already, and it for some people who can't draw or whatever. That's their visual expression. Amy, I
Yeah,
remember,
right.
was also into photography for a while.
No,
If
Anie
Amy
was like
wasn't she the
she was
first?
into
She was like
photos.
the
Like
first one, right? Wasn't she the first?
I
She
think so,
took like
yeah. And
she
she
took like a
likes taking
workshop.
selfies.
Oh yeah, she does. She's very patient with photos. I'm not
Right.
really, I'm
And she
not.
likes
I'm not.
taking pictures of herself. Like she has tons of like pictures of herself in their house. Have you been to their house? You
No.
know how
Yeah,
many albums she
I've been
has?
I've been to her
She
house.
has like so much albums, and it's all her.
Yeah.
It's all her
Well,
face.
But
It's
photos are nice. I mean, they're memories,
okay.
basically.
Pinky,
So yeah.
apologize. Apologize to this guy.
What? Oh my god, I'm sorry, Glenn, for but
I mean,
I'm sure that's not the only thing you do.
it's okay. Hold on. Well, when people who take selfies, is it okay? Most people they take selfies for themselves, right?
Of
Yeah.
Or
course, that's a
I
selfie.
suppose.
they like
But
other people they like other people to
yeah,
appreciate
I
it
take a
too.
lot
I
of
mean,
selfies
pictures.
up until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I was actually
okay.
poking fun at Iceman and his
Do you take selfies,
selfie
Ice?
taking
I do. Like when she was saying like, "Oh, you have a
hobby.
subject." Like, no, even before snow, I take a lot of pictures. I just take a lot of pictures. I
Of
think in a way
yourself.
I'm
Do you have an
narcissistic
album?
in that sense.
You have an album?
No, no, I don't have an album. I just like take
You
a lot of
print it
selfies.
out.
I would go to the gym and I'd be like, I'd eat
What?
something and I'd be like, you know, I'd go and
Hey,
watch a movie and
you
I'd
You're a
know
be like,
what?
millennial then. You're a
You know
millennial.
what? If it makes you happy, do whatever the heck you want. I
That's
I
say
right.
know, right?
whatever makes you
Absolutely
happy.
agree. As long as you're not
Okay.
harming
Magpaliwanag
anyone.
ka sa presinto.
As long as you're not harming anyone.
Right,
Yeah, I
right.
mean, selfie. I mean, why do we have phone cameras? For selfies. That's what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
gosh, do you remember back then when like Nokia 7610 released their like dual cam? I think
okay, hang on. What's
7610.
the 7610? What does it look like?
It's
I don't
that
know what it
thing
looks
that
like. Hang on.
slides up and down, right? It's a thing that goes.
Oh,
That's the one I was
yeah.
talking to you about, Ice, I think.
7610. Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
Ah, this
Right?
one. I think, no, Rod had this one.
Yeah.
This was your
It's not
phone.
I don't think it's
No,
dual
no, no.
cam.
7210. Wait, like it's one of those things that slides up
7610
and
was
down.
not dual cam. That was
No,
the
that's not
first
it.
camera phone.
Nokia.
No, 7210 didn't have a camera. What are you talking
It's
about?
it's
No,
this it's this
well,
it's this cam that like it's
Oh,
compact when you slide it down. Like there's a camera in front and at the back. Gosh, that was like all the rage. And then the pictures were like VGA and like really
not the
pixelated.
social one, right? Not the like the 80
no, I
something.
think
Like
it's
that came in
66
Chrome or something.
Nokia
Is it
6680. I think it's like
6710? 67.
Probably the N90. I remember
No,
I
no,
had an
no.
N90. Remember the N90? Like you would swivel. I remember buying that. It was like they had Gary Oldman in the commercial for that, the N90, and then I
I'm
sold
looking
that
for it.
because it would turn off in my pocket. Like the power button was so sensitive that if you put it in your pocket, it would turn off. So I decided to resell it. And back then it was like buy camera phone, sell a
N90.
camera phone, buy camera phone. N90, the
No.
N90. I had an
Oh,
N90,
Oh, the
and
one
I
that I was
sold
talking
that.
about. I completely forgot. Oh, this one. This was big when I was in high school. What is it called? Oh, I have this. I
Okay,
wait.
so what is it?
Continue.
What
I'm
model?
looking it up. I'm looking it up.
Okay, but
see, even
yeah,
with phones now, it's easier because back then we can only text. Now we can send
N80. There you go.
pictures.
N80.
the
2005
N80.
Nokia
Okay, hold
N80.
on. Let me
Yeah, it
check.
had like a camera in
N80.
front.
Let's okay.
It's
Let's
that
check it out.
slide down thing with a
N80.
Oh
camera.
yeah, I remember. Okay, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that
All
phone.
right. See,
I never had that
N80.
phone.
All right, there
That
Never
you
had
was
that
go.
phone.
like
N80.
that was all the rage. People were
Okay, I
like, "Oh, we
remember.
can take selfies."
That
I'm like,
was
N80
"What's
that
it
was
called a
starts.
that
selfie?"
was
Thanks.
after our time, Ice. Like that, I think he was probably still in college then when that came out. We
What
were
year
like
was
No, I
this?
was in high
2000 what?
school.
you
2005.
were
I
in
was
2000
in
high
what?
high
school when that
school.
came out. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
2005?
yeah. I was like
2005.
second, third
Dude, we
year.
were still
Yeah,
at Killer B at that time.
I know that's what I'm saying. We
2005.
were working
I
already.
think like third,
You
fourth
had your
year.
Sony Ericsson, right? Or what was that?
Yeah.
You had the same phone as Joe, the T60 something.
Yeah.
Remember,
I
Ice?
think so, yeah.
It was like a
Yeah.
Sony Ericsson or
Yeah, that
something
was a
that you
crappy
had.
phone, but you know, I mean,
Hey, it worked,
right.
man.
You have a nice phone. You always had a nice phone.
Me?
Yeah, yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, but I was like, buy
You
and
always
sell.
change phones too.
I know. I always change
Like
phones.
every what? Every 6
I,
months?
no, because I would always trade it in. Like if I notice the value's going down, I'll trade it in,
You trade it
and
in?
then
All right,
then I
okay.
can
Did you
get
guys?
premium.
Did you guys ever have the communicator, like the one that
No,
opens
I
with like
didn't.
a
I had
Communicator.
The
I had
funny thing,
the P90, the P90
the
and the
funny thing
P91.
was, my
That's the one I
dad gave
had.
me his old communicator, and I had no use for it because I didn't even have an email address for crying out loud. So I used it. I almost got mugged in Cebu. I took it out. I was going to text, and then I don't know, maybe it was pretty rare back then. So I was followed by a
Yeah.
Somebody
guy who
grabbed
tried
it?
to mug. No, somebody tried to mug me, man. They were like always like two steps behind me, and then I had
Right.
to look
Yeah,
for
but
Did you
security
like
guard.
scream?
the communicator,
No,
Help!
if
I
No.
it's
looked for a
close,
guard.
the
All
display
right.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
crappy. The
Guard,
display
guard.
was like
Oh,
50.
it was
The display was
awful.
like the
It was
display was like 5110 if it was close.
yeah,
Because it had
exactly.
a little window and you was
A
just like,
screen. Yeah.
but when you open it, that's when you get the whole
Yeah,
display,
but
which is
Right,
these
right.
people know their business. They
yeah, they
know their
do
business.
for sure.
Just
They
one
I
do.
had no
glance,
use for
boom,
it.
communicator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You gotta mug
exactly.
this lady.
I think because it was pretty rare, and to be fair, I was in Cebu, so
Okay, so Pix,
But-
any examples that you can contribute to like
Yeah, because
you
you're
know
younger, so yeah.
things
I
that are
mean,
better now than when maybe your
online
uncle was
when
growing
you were
up.
growing
shopping,
up. Online shopping.
Online
All right,
broadband,
there you
shopping,
go.
perfect,
Online
perfect,
shopping.
perfect, perfect. Yes, online
broadband,
shop,
man. Do you remember
Broadband.
when you used to
delivery.
have to like buy the cards and you have to literally dial up
Dial
and you would
up.
hear the
Yeah.
the modem?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes,
exactly.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
But
Yeah,
honestly,
internet is
online
crap.
shopping, it just
Yes.
changed the game completely. We're now, we can buy imported stuff that we can only dream of a few
and
years
and the
back because
logistics has improved leaps and bounds. I
well,
mean,
it's
online
it's not
shopping will only
perfect.
work if the logistics work,
Yeah,
but
it's not
obviously it
perfect,
does.
definitely. There's room for improvement, but we're getting there. We're not talking about a 3,500 shipping fee for a shirt from the States. If you get something from
Yes.
Lazada, chances are 500 is really expensive now. So at
Yeah.
least we have that option. And,
Ice, how
Right.
how how,
it's
how fast is shipping there? If you order from Amazon now, when are you gonna get it?
Sometimes it's just like hours because I think I
Hours?
if you have Prime, right?
well,
Oh,
If you
it's
have
not.
because
It's
Prime,
less than
because
20. Yeah, because I have Prime.
Amazon is like a store there, right?
Yeah, like yeah.
Amazon
If
has a
you
store
ordered an
there.
item that's like in their warehouse, so I think
mm,
I did that like Saturday night. I ordered this USB. What do you call this? Like a sort of USB port, like
a
uh,
splitter, an
yeah, a
adapter.
splitter. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and I think it's a splitter. So I need because I have so many things to plug in my computer now. So I got that. So I ordered it Saturday night, around 10:30, 11. Then it came around 1 p.m. the next day. So that was like
That's something
Saturday
we
night,
can
11
only
p.m.
dream about
Right?
here in Davao, right, Rod?
But yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's Amazon, so they
No,
have
but
It is.
because they
they
have a
have
physical store, it's sort of like
They have
ordering from SM,
warehouses.
basically.
They have
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
ordering
warehouses.
from
and the
SM.
warehouse is just near like the city next to me. So I think
Mm,
the
cool.
Amazon is like just the city next to me, which is like 5 minutes away from my house, or maybe 10.
Do we have
So yeah,
eBay in the Philippines? I never really
Yeah,
bothered with eBay Philippines, but I
eBay.
no,
We
think
same
don't.
here. I
Well,
don't.
we don't
eBay
have
scares me.
Japan
eBay
don't even
yeah,
have
scares me.
eBay.
eBay
We
eBay
have
and
scares me.
Yahoo
Amazon. We don't
auction.
have.
We
What
have
we don't
Yahoo
have here is
auction.
Craigslist, right? We don't have Craigslist here.
Yeah,
Craigslist.
Craigslist is just
Pretty big in the
way
US.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so okay, so hold on. Like what if you order from another
Like
shopping,
Rakuten. Okay,
yeah, like
Rakuten would take about like 2 days. 2 days. That's
okay.
that's standard.
Pinky, what's the fastest here? Probably for me, maybe 2 days. It can happen if it's like a Manila seller. If it's a Manila
Mine
seller,
would be like 3 days. The fastest for me was like 3 days. I bought a shirt or something, and it arrived 3 days after, and I was like so impressed because I mean 3 days from
3 days,
Manila.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But mine's probably two. I probably got an item that's like that surprised the heck out of me because that was like, but that was a Manila item. So when you
Mm,
least expect it, it arrives early. When you wait and you're excited, it takes forever. That's just how
I
it
know.
is. It's like
It's
watching
so
water boil.
annoying, right?
When you're
Yeah.
Main
cooking
reason
instant
I do
noodles, it
not.
takes forever.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, go,
true.
go, go.
Main reason why I do not order on AliExpress because it takes more than 15
Oh
days.
my
Think about like
god, man.
AliExpress. It takes like a
AliExpress takes
lot
like
of
a
time.
month and
It
a
goes
half
through
to get
customs.
here.
Yeah.
It goes through
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
customs. I mean, that's just
But
So
how it is.
but the thing is, we whenever we order from Lazada or Shopee, chances are they're from a warehouse in China too, and they go
But
pass through
it's
customs
faster.
too.
It's
And
faster,
it's
right?
faster. I mean, we're
It's
talking
faster.
weeks, maybe tops. But I don't know. AliExpress is supposed to be Express, but
they
I
should
think
change
AliExpress
their name. It shouldn't be
a
probably
month.
AliExpress.
probably
Ali
you'd forget
Bagal.
already.
Ali
Probably
Bagal.
Alibagal. You probably forget
Ali
about it. You'd be
Oh
Bagal.
like,
man,
what is
yeah,
what is this?
exactly. I was like, I'm not expecting a package or anything. No, ma'am, it's addressed here. And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, right, I ordered this 2 months ago. And well,
I haven't
yeah,
ordered at AliExpress yet, so I guess they gotta have it. I know Mao has done that several times. I'd just like to do a quick shout out. Happy birthday to Dava Home Sites, to Larice,
happy birthday.
and shout out to Doc Kitin and to Jesse. I hope they're tuned in, or at least because they say they listen, they watch our show. So shout outs to
Cool.
them. We do have the silent
Larice.
minority,
Larice who?
right? Larice
You
Calyao, are
know,
you
you
batchmates?
know
All
what?
right.
She's turning
Nah,
40 today. It's her
Larice Kalya.
40th.
No,
It's her
I have a
40th.
different Larice in
40th.
mind. What was her
Yes.
maiden name?
That's it. She's Soriano now. She's Soriano now.
All right.
But
Okay.
when
All right.
you were in college, probably. I mean, she's 40. How old are you
Yeah, there was
guys?
another
Oh,
Larice I went to
she's
college with.
younger. She's younger by a couple of batches, I guess.
All right. Okay. I
Yeah.
was thinking of a
Yeah.
different Larice. Anyway, MJ, traveling is so much easier today compared
Yes,
to
yes.
Yeah.
compared to before. Airline tickets are
Yeah.
cheaper.
Mentioned that
Yes.
earlier about the piece of fare and all that stuff, like the bookings, like the convenience also of booking. I have. What do you use, Spinks? Agoda.
Well, it depends. I have to look for like the cheapest option,
Yeah,
especially when I'm
I
yeah.
use Agoda like when we go to when we did
Booking.com
our
is also pretty
vacation.
good.
Yeah, so like we have
Booking.com.
Suki
Have
hotels
you have
already, and
you
they
guys
tell
ever
you
tried couch surfing? Like what do you call that? What do you call that?
Couch
That thing that's
couch surfing.
no, yeah, yeah. What is it called? Like when you rent your room to
Right.
strangers. Do you guys know
oh,
what I'm
like
talking about?
geez, what is that called? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
What is it
Yeah, it's
called?
like sometimes you do that with
Someone.
their houses.
I did that.
Sometimes
Couch
you do that
Yes.
with the house.
couch casting.
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no, no,
no.
no, no,
Couch,
no, no,
what
no,
are you
no, no, no,
talking
no.
about? Couch casting? You naughty boy,
What's
you.
couch casting?
No, it's
Ron was like, no, 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 no. Ah!
it's
Sounds like
like
a late reaction.
it's like Red Door Hotel did that or something. Like
No, no.
Airbnb, Airbnb,
Airbnb,
Airbnb. Yes,
Airbnb, Airbnb.
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 That's
All
it.
right,
There you go.
okay,
Couch
Airbnb.
Thank
casting.
you.
Couch
You're like,
casting.
what?
Yeah,
Couch
okay.
casting.
Couch casting.
You
All
should have
right.
said Airbnb. I'm like, it's like couch surfing. Like what? Like
Yeah,
Airbnb. All right.
because
Yeah,
it's
Airbnb.
I think it started as a couch
But
surfing
yan,
thing.
Tito.
But then Tito,
Hey,
sorry,
that was Tito
sorry.
Ice. That was not me. That was Tito
Okay,
Ice.
hold up. Should I even Google what couch casting is?
No, don't bother.
Okay,
Don't
okay,
bother.
I
Don't
won't.
bother. All right. No.
Yeah,
Airbnb.
but
Okay.
Airbnb,
Airbnb.
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 I don't know if you guys have tried. It is so scary, especially if you're like running like me. You
No, wait.
literally
You
live.
scary if you go to an Airbnb or if you Airbnb your place.
No, if well, I think it goes both ways. I think there's
Okay.
always a risk of letting a stranger stay
No,
in your
for
place.
you, for you,
But
you
as
went to a
a
place and
yes,
stayed in an Airbnb.
I stayed because my flat wasn't ready yet, and I had to wait a couple of days. So I rented a room from a man because that was like the cheapest I could
This was
find.
where? This was where?
I think in Copenhagen, and
Oh, geez,
yeah,
Europe. Okay, that
I
would be
did it a
creepy.
couple of times because it's the cheapest. You know, a basic hotel room in like I don't know Scandinavia would cost you an average of 10,000
All
pesos a
right.
night, and that's like a
So you're
cheapest.
so you're
Not even
saying
air conditioned.
you just rented a room and
Yes,
he
I
also
rented a
lives
room.
there. Like so
Yes,
you're like in the same
well
space. Yeah.
that particular room was actually a free room in a bigger house. So they were
Right.
occupying the main house. But the thing was, it was like one guy with three kids, one daughter, two sons, but the daughter went to college, so they're renting her room.
And
And
then that's fine. You know,
I
that's
stayed
that's
in the
pretty
empty
safe.
room.
Did you
But
meet the
man,
guy,
it's
the
scary.
owner?
Yeah, but I hid 90% of the time. And then they turned out to be really nice people. They fed me, they invited me to dinner, and they showed me places. Well, they told me about the places that I should go visit. But the thing is, you also read a lot of horror stories about Airbnb, like like it's
Like
creepy.
what?
It's well, you end up renting a creep's place with hidden cameras and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I get it. I get it.
It's
I get it. I guess
weird. It's
for a
weird.
woman, but for a guy,
Right.
we would love that.
We'd be like, woo, yeah.
But
Yeah.
then again,
Like the
it's always
monkey, yeah.
curious.
Watch this.
There you go. MJ
Okay, all right.
has had experience with Airbnb for domestic and international destinations. So far, I've never had a terrible experience. Same here. I've had nothing but good experiences
Yeah.
with
In
Airbnb.
Japan, we
Stop it.
But
it
if you
creeped you out.
read, yeah, no, if you read, the horror stories about it, it kind of like freaks you out a
Right.
little bit, and maybe you'd want to reconsider. But it's a very cheap way to travel and to find a place to stay. So yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it, especially for traveling in groups. I think that's like
Yeah.
the
In
cheapest and the
Japan, I
best
would
option.
recommend it. Airbnb, it's fantastic here. Like I never had any trouble. Like everything is clean. Well, I've seen some
I've never
reviews,
tried Airbnb, but
but
is it much cheaper? What are the advantages of
it is so
Airbnb?
much cheaper.
It's
Okay,
so much
here's the thing.
cheaper.
So me and my family went to Tokyo, and I'm talking about the big, like all of us.
Mm.
Aldon's family, all right, Don Alfred's family,
Everyone,
then
the
my
entire
sister and my
group.
mom, then me, then my wife, then my daughter, then my auntie from Tochigi came as well. So there were like about how many of us? Like 10 people. So
Mhm.
we have to rent a house, which is a 3-floor house
Okay.
in near Edogawa. So it was somewhere in Tokyo. It was near Tokyo Skytree, and we only spent for 3 days. I think we stayed there for 3 4 days. We only spent about how much did we spend? Was it like close to? No, hang on. How much did we pay? Was it
A
Jumong?
million.
So it was like
But
about no, like 100,000 yen, around 100,000 yen, or it could be like almost 200,000 yen. But still, no, okay, 100,000 yen but no, but it was still so
But
much cheaper
you
if we were.
slept standing up, right? You slept standing up.
Dude, the rooms were big.
I'm kidding. I'm
They
kidding.
had
I'm
nice
kidding.
beds. It was like,
So
and they had a parking
100,000 yen
space
is how
too.
much? 100,000 yen is how much in pesos?
50K, 60K, and that was for
For
three
how many
days.
days?
For 3 days
For like 10 people?
That's
for
not
10 people.
bad, man.
That's not bad.
That's a
It's
really
like
great
it's
I mean,
like
I
deal.
would
big
sleep
room
standing up.
downstairs, like
I don't
you
mind.
know the ground floor. Then the second floor, there's like a room there, and there was like a sort of a living room and a kitchen. Then the third
Nice.
floor, there were like 2 rooms. So we actually had a spare room there, and yeah,
Nice.
it was very clean. They had fridge, they had like free coffee there and some like mineral water. So it was pretty cool, and it was very cheap
Nice.
too. Anyway,
Nice.
food
Would you
delivery.
recommend it? Would you recommend the
Yes, I would
Airbnb?
Oh
recommend.
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I would.
All right. So food delivery. All right. Let's
Food
get to food
delivery
delivery.
is a
All right,
godsend, especially during
Absolutely.
the ECQ,
all right.
right?
Absolutely.
Oh man, that's
Absolutely.
like
What's your favorite? Who's your go-to?
it depends on
I
the
don't.
restaurant.
I don't have Food Panda. The thing is, a lot of these apps, they don't have a lot of the restaurants that we kind of want to.
Yeah,
So that kind of
true.
sucks. But Grab is our go-to, I guess, because
All right.
It
I haven't
depends, like
tried Food Panda yet.
Grab. Okay.
whichever is having a sale, like a free delivery day.
All right.
That's
I
Oh
the
yeah,
cannot
yeah, you're
relate
right. Yeah.
because where I live in Japan, like I know we have Grab now, but it's only in Nagoya or probably in Tokyo. But because I live in the Inaka in the countryside, so I don't have it.
Yeah.
But so Philippines, you have Grab and Food Panda. Yes.
yeah
We
for
have
I think
Grab, Food
most
Panda.
major cities. Yeah,
All right.
We have riders, right? You can just hire a rider, pick up your
All
order at
right.
Densha's,
Okay.
and
Lala
then
Move, like Lala Move. Is that what you
So
mean?
how about like
Like
is anybody from
um,
okay, I know Glenford is in Singapore, so is Grab and Food Panda like, is it just
where is it? I
Grab and
think
Food
Grab
Panda?
is originally from Singapore, isn't it? Where is
yeah,
Grab originally from?
gonna say.
I'm not sure.
Is it from Singapore, Pinks? You
Isn't
think?
isn't Food Panda a Singapore company?
I am not sure. Like
That
Glenford would
I
probably
don't
know.
know. That I don't know. But
Um
it's very convenient. That's true because
No,
back
it's
in the day,
German apparently.
back in the day, how was food delivered? Ice, do you remember? Because I know Garridos. There's a guy on a bike, right?
Oh yeah, Grab is Korean.
I don't know, man. When I was
How was
delivery, food
food
delivery?
delivered? Did we ever
I don't
have
know. Like
food
I
delivered back
know
then?
I've heard of pizza
Pizza,
delivery.
pizza.
Yeah,
Yes,
Pizza,
we
or
had
like
but
pizza.
that's it.
Yeah,
Only
McDonald's or
pizza.
or
Jollibee.
Jollibee.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Only the big
yeah.
the big fast food joints have like delivery, right? Ay patok sa
That's
manok
true.
had
Yeah.
delivery for the longest
But
time.
growing
I
up, I
mean,
didn't have delivery. I think when I was in high school, I don't
it's a
remember any
it's
delivery.
just pick up, like the option is like,
I'm trying
pwede
to
paluto
recall.
daan, we'll pick it up.
I'm trying to recall if we had food delivered back when I was in
Lala
school.
Move, Food Panda, Grab is
Um,
from Malaysia. Is
Okay.
it?
Grab is a Singaporean multinational company headquartered in Singapore.
All right.
And
Okay.
apparently Food Panda is a German company, I think, according to
All right.
Wikipedia, so don't quote me on that.
All
Okay.
right. Okay.
All right. All right. So, anyways, yeah, they're everywhere, and they're kind of the big three, so to speak.
Gabby would recommend Airbnb too. So Rod, yeah,
Yeah,
go Airbnb.
because I have two kids, and I think there's a feedback system too, right? There's a rating. I mean,
Yeah,
like that's how
you
it is
can.
with
You
hotels.
can.
Yeah,
Because
they have reviews, so you can check the reviews.
there was this one time I did not check the reviews, and I just went for the cheapest, right? So we went to I booked this hotel, and we were staying there for like the longest. We were staying in Hong
Is
Kong
this
for
in
like
Thailand? Hong
no,
Kong.
this
All
was in
right.
Hong Kong. We were staying there for like like almost 10 days. I know we were staying there for a while, and I'm like, okay, this is the cheapest, so I booked it because there's this hotel we always go to, which was BP International, which is a good hotel. But I thought I'd save, right? So I booked it, and I checked out, and I was thinking, okay, I did not check the reviews. I checked the reviews, dude, and the feedback was like cockroaches. The bathroom was so dirty, the bed was. So I looked at the picture of the location, and I showed it to my son. He started crying. Rod started crying. He was like, "Papa, I don't want to go there. That's a
Oh,
terrible place." Because it was like a back street in Hong Kong, where they have like all these markets and stuff. And he was like,
right,
"Papa," he was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh crap!" And I can't like get a refund. I can't cancel my booking.
right.
I was like,
Did you actually stay there?
"Dude." When we got there, the worst part was we were with my mom, and my mom was like, could barely walk. She was, she can't climb stairs. When we got there, I left them at this, one area, and with all the luggages. I said, I'll check out the place first. When I got there, the elevator wasn't working. It was located on the fifth floor, and before you get to the fifth floor, you have to go through all these crappy looking restaurants per floor. So it was really terrible. And when I got up there, I was like, oh man, how is my mom gonna get up here? She can't climb up the stairs. And the owner guy was happened to be really nice and had Filipino employees said, no, it's okay, it's okay. I bring you to my newer hotel. So he transferred us to his newer hotel, which is a different name and in a better location because it was right along Nathan Road. The one that we initially booked was in a back street. So when we moved there, it wasn't that far. It was like a block away. So when we moved there, Raj was so relieved. The hotel was much nicer,
Right.
but we were just lucky that was a nice owner because I already
Right.
booked. I couldn't get a refund.
Right.
So lesson learned. Lesson learned. Always check the reviews and the rating. And
Yes.
always check because like if you go for
Do
just the
you do you
price,
guys splurge
man.
like when it comes to booking hotel rooms? Do you guys splurge, or do you
well,
like,
that
or are
My
you
same
one
my
of those
time,
wife
now?
would. My wife would. I wouldn't.
yeah, that same time we went to Macau for the first time. So that's why I saved on I was kuripot on the Hong Kong stay with the Simsatsui stay because the Macau hotel we stayed at Holiday Inn, which was
Mm,
along the Kotai, strip, which was along
mm,
the resorts, the casinos where
yeah.
the and that's like so I was thinking, okay, so it's gonna be expensive if we stay at this place, and Macau is our first time. So I'll save on the Hong Kong thing because we're barely gonna be in the room anyway. But then I realized that I booked the wrong place, and we were just fortunate that the owner was kind enough. So I don't know. Maybe next time if there's an Airbnb, because when the wifey went to Hong Kong for her NCLEX exam, this is the nursing board exam, years back. I think they stayed in somewhat like an Airbnb because it was like a residence and it was
Hmm.
owned by a Filipino, and she rented it out to these NCLEX state board exam, nursing board exam takers. So that
Right.
was maybe like an Airbnb back in the day, but now I don't know if Airbnb is recommended for places like Hong Kong or Thailand or Vietnam, but Japan, you're fine with Airbnb in Japan, right? I mean, if it saves you
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of
Like,
money,
well,
right? Why
this is
not,
Japan. They
right?
have like these
Because
places
a
are
hotel stay there
mostly
would be expensive, right? If we stayed in
yeah,
a hotel.
mostly it's either like it's an old house and they like they fixed it because they have an extra house, so they use it for that sort of business,
Yeah.
or they have a spare apartment and they use it for that business. So apartments here are very
What's what
convenient.
what's a must for you? Because I don't care about heated water. Like if you don't have hot water, it's okay. I can survive. Like it's not
No,
Minnesota for
dude,
crying
we
out
have
loud.
heated water. Like there, no place here doesn't have heated water.
Okay,
We
all
have
right.
heated water,
So because my mom,
and
my mom's very specific.
like
She
Same,
wants
heated
heated
same.
water.
water.
The
You know
toilets
what?
are
I
fine.
always,
Like it's
especially if
awesome.
it's a trip that would require a lot of walking, a priority is a bathtub because I like to soak my legs after a like long day of
Well,
walking. I
in
think that's
Japan,
like
Yeah.
like
a
tub
that's
is a
like a
must.
Oh,
yeah, it's a
really?
must.
So they have
It's a
tubs there in
must.
Japan as well.
Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. All right.
So
Well,
it's
that's
like
something to
all the
think
apartments
about.
I had before, they had tubs. They're not the full size tubs, but
So where do you
There's
get
they
this?
have the tub.
there's
Where do you get the Airbnb recommendations though? Is there a site, an app for
Yeah,
Airbnb?
well,
Is
you,
I
you
think
go
yeah,
it
to
an
you have
app? It's an app,
Airbnb.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and you can choose. You can choose. Like they have like
It's like
there's
Enron.
so many
It's
options.
like
So many options.
Trivago or like Booking.com. You have like the
Okay.
options
Yes.
listed there depending on
Okay.
the location that you want. The thing is, I got to stay in a Japanese-ish hotel in Cebu. It's called Toyoko Inn. It's like
Mm,
the most basic hotel, but even they have tubs in the room. And like
exactly.
they have
Yeah.
the tiniest toilets. I don't know where they came from, but they're
But
tiny
there's a
and they're
tub.
so
But
cute.
there's a tub.
Yeah, but it's like complete. You know what I mean? Like that's I
Yeah.
think that's like how
They're so
Japan
good at
operates.
that. They're like
Because
I
I know
know.
they
I
know how
know
to
in
use their
Japan
space.
they have this like almost like coffin type things, like a capsule where you
You can
can
just
I
like
we
sleep in
yeah, they
it.
have that too.
right? They have
Like
this
okay,
capsule
even
thing.
even like if you're single and you're not with your family, I would also
Mm.
recommend those. Like now they build those
Oh
things.
man, if
Like
you're
they have
cost,
they have
Yeah, I
they
don't
have
like. I
common.
get
if
claustrophobic,
you're
man.
yeah,
It's
No, no,
exactly.
no.
How
Like
can you
like
no, no.
breathe in
No, I
oh,
haven't been in
that
a
thing?
capsule, but they now they have those sort of hotel types that they have like really nice rooms. It's cheaper than a hotel, but they have a nice room, but you don't have your own
Window
bathroom
or
and,
what?
and toilet. But
Oh,
they have
okay.
like a common one, but it's very nice though. Like if you're thinking like Philippine standards, and that's like no, don't think that. When you go to the toilet, it's like
Nice.
they have the nicest toilet, they have the nicest
It's no problem.
bathroom.
Their bathroom will be nice, but what about the other guests? What if they're not,
yeah, that's
clean?
true.
That
That's
Well,
see
true. That's
That's a
true.
You have a
problem.
point. You have a
You know
point.
what I
But I
mean?
think
That's true.
their staff are like really efficient, and they
Yeah,
Okay.
really
but there
make
are
sure.
certain things that you
I,
can't
I,
see and
I think
cannot be
it's you
cleaned
get what you pay
thoroughly.
for. If you're gonna be a
Yeah,
cheapskate and save, then don't be surprised if you get really crappy accommodations. Because
right.
obviously those kind of people will be the ones, the backpackers. They'll be the ones who will stay in places like that. So I guess it kind of helps. Like if you have a family with you, you have kids, go for the mid tier. Don't go for the
Right.
cheapest. Because if you go for the mid tier, then at least you're kind of safe where it filters out the people with the no
I
budget
I
whatsoever. I
I
mean,
got to
just
stay
for
in a
me, just
hotel room. I think we were in Malaysia, and it was like crazy cheap, and the photos looked nice, and the reviews were okay. But when we
when
got
you
there,
got there,
the window was painted on.
oh my
We did
god,
not have a working
you
window,
wasn't a
and it
real
was like
window.
nighttime, like
Yeah, you
24/7.
know what scared me? You know what scared me in Hong Kong was
What?
it's same thing. They had grills on the window, and you know how sometimes you watch the news and you hear
Where
about these
did you
buildings on
stay?
fire. Like
Jeez.
sometimes
Yeah, yeah,
they have
yeah.
these buildings on fire, and you see these people like waving outside the window, like just waiting to get
Yeah,
burned
yeah, yeah.
because there's no fire
There's
escape.
no
There's no,
exit. Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god,
And
please,
you
like,
were
because
with your family.
I was with my mom, who's a senior citizen who can barely
Right.
walk. I'm with my son. If anything happens in that building, we're toast.
Hang on,
Literally.
the
I
building
mean,
you stayed in had grills.
they had grills on the window.
That,
Grills.
that's probably a bad area that you got to that you
No,
picked.
th- well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should always read the reviews. But here's what
Yes,
happened
you
too.
should.
Here's what happened because on our last night, we stayed at our Suki hotel, which is BP International, which is a decent, nice, big hotel.
Mm.
The scary thing was the fire alarm went off.
Oh
Christmas, no, this was New
no!
Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. We were
Shoot,
in
that
our
is.
room. We were about to have our meal because I bought food in and we were about to have the freaking fire alarm went off and we were like on the 22nd floor or something. I was like, oh
Oh
crap.
no!
Like, 'cause I can run down the steps. My son can run. My mom can't. I will have to carry her. And I literally freaked. This was Christmas Eve. And this was the only night that
Oh
we
dear!
decided to stay at
The
this
fire
nice
alarm went
place.
off
The
that
fire
time.
Oh no!
alarm went off.
Holy
So
shit!
when I stepped out, the other people in their other room stepped out and we were like, okay, maybe somebody's playing a prank. Let's wait this out. And then we got an announcement, we got a phone call. It was a false alarm. Some kids tripped it, whatever. But my God, can you imagine? So these are things that people don't think about when they go on vacations. We never think about stuff like that. We're all like excited, bro. We never think about a possibility of like, let's say an emergency happens. Like the people
Right,
in
fire
Thailand
hazard.
when they went to Phuket. Remember the tsunami?
Yeah,
Remember
yeah, yeah,
Cherry
yeah,
Hill
yeah.
was there with her family? Cherry Hill was there with her family. Was that in Indonesia or was that in? I'm trying to recall if that was Thailand or
Thailand,
Indonesia.
Thailand, Thailand.
Okay, that was in Thailand. No, I think it was in Indonesia. I think it was in Bali. But the literally the waves. I mean, who would have thought, right? Like you're just there on the beach. So what I'm saying is, especially if you're traveling with elders or people who can't run fast or whatever, always think about these things because you're not in your home country. If
Uh,
anything happens, if
I have a better
anything
solution,
terrible,
Rod.
it's scary. I'm
I
running.
have a better
That's it.
solution.
Don't travel with me.
Yeah, no, I have a better solution. Stay home. That's what you like. You don't want to
See,
travel. You
no,
don't want to go to places. You just want to
no.
stay home.
What are you
Go to a
talking about?
mall.
What are you talking about? I went there. We were there. We experienced it. But it's not about that. It's about like some people just don't think about these things. And maybe you should take that into consideration when you travel next time where, okay.
Man,
Because you remember
I
when you
didn't
told me
realize
about
you're
the,
so anxious.
no, remember when you told me about this guy who rode a bike every day and
Right.
nothing ever happened to him?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me tell you about the guy who rode a bike one time and he died right away. See?
Oh
Exactly. So
no!
you
See,
never
for
know.
every
You never
exactly
know.
for
You
every
never know.
story
So
they
what are you gonna do?
have,
Just stay in your house forever?
I don't know. Maybe find a between, find a line that's in the middle. Maybe not take too much risk, right? I'm not,
You're gonna end up like a bubble boy.
dude. I'm not saying not take a vacation. I didn't say that. I said I took a vacation. I just said take things into consideration. You're not listening to me. I didn't say not take a vacation. I said take things into consideration. Next time you book a hotel or something, maybe take the first floor or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe check it.
I get
Maybe
that.
check it.
It's
Dude, my heart, it wasn't just me.
I.
My wife freaked. My
But
kid freaked. We all freaked. And they're all optimistic. But when the
It's
fire alarm
always
went off,
unnerving. Yeah,
oh my
exactly. You're in a
God.
foreign
It's Christmas
country.
Eve. We're going to
Right.
die. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the heck? You
Oh, I
know?
didn't know this. I didn't know this.
No.
Airbnb
Airbnb
is illegal in Singapore.
Oh,
really?
really?
Wow. I
Okay.
think they tried to make it illegal here,
So
but
what do
they
they call it there? BNB RIA.
Airbnb Tago. All right. Hang on. Private property owners are not allowed to rent out their properties for less than 3 consecutive months. Whoa, Singapore is strict.
Who are
Whoa.
convicted under the laws may be fined up to 200,000 if the rental continues. Okay.
Wow.
How much
Pretty
do you have to
strict.
pay if you spit in public in Singapore? I know you like even chewing gum. I think is illegal there, right? Flat owners are prohibited from
Yes.
renting out their flats. Those who are convicted may find their. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's not go to
Super strict.
Singapore.
Let's not go to Singapore. Like
I
even
know
I,
Japanese are so
it's
surprised when I
expensive
tell
there.
when I tell them that you can't, because in Japan you can eat at trains, you can drink beer inside the train, no problem. You can bring food there, you can have drinks and stuff. And I told them like, you can't do that in Singapore. They're like, yeah, we heard. And I was like, yeah, because I think it's because it's so diverse there, compared to like Japan where
but
they're mostly homogenous. Like it's
I like the system though. I like the system that they have in Singapore. I love coming back there. Well, the food is great. So there's that.
well,
It's
the
like take
food's
it or leave
great.
it.
The
It's like take it
food
or leave
is
it.
awesome.
Food is
Singapore's like this is how we
yeah.
roll. If you can't roll with it,
Yeah,
don't come.
you know what they
That's it.
say, man. When in Rome, when in
Do as the
Rome.
Romans do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And by the way, Glenn Ford is a tour guide.
Oh,
He works for a
cool.
tour company. He's a tour. Yeah, he's a
When
tour guy.
Nice.
whenever I go to Singapore, I always like
Duck
focus my
tours. I think it's
attention
duck
in
tours.
Chinatown because I like that. I like the feel of the place. I love
Glenn
the
Oh,
Ford, do you have the Singapore twang now? Like, do you say la? I've been to Singapore. We come to Singapore here, la. Oh, when you come to Singapore, nice hair. I mean, do you talk like that now, Glenn Ford? Because I mean, that's kind of like how they speak there,
he
right? It's not
probably
not
does. He
right.
probably does. We'll find out. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you. We're gonna have
Is
him
he
June
joining
10th.
us? Is he
June
joining
10th.
us?
I
awesome,
booked him June 10th.
June 10th.
Um,
It's already
awesome.
June 14th. What are you
no,
talking
no,
about?
July 10th. July 10th. Sorry about that. Like July
Okay, July
10th.
10th. All
July
right.
10th.
Right. So
July
July 10th. I was
Yeah,
thinking of
Saturday.
No,
the
la.
overseas.
I don't talk like that, le. I like you, Glenn Ford. I like you already. No, la. I
And
don't
so
talk like that, le.
So
Okay, all
we're
right.
gonna talk about like working overseas. What are the reasons why we work overseas? Is it just financial reasons, or are there
Cool.
other reasons why we go abroad or something like that?
Yes,
So
that's okay.
um,
Perfect, perfect.
he's been in Singapore for many
Way
years
too
now.
long. Way too
Wow.
long. He
Yeah,
starts
I think
talking like
so.
that already.
I think,
No, la. I don't
but
talk like that,
before he left
le.
for Singapore, he had a really really nice job, and I was like so surprised why he left. So it's a really good spin. Like it's a really good topic to talk about. Like why do people go out, go overseas,
MJ
and
is in Malaysia, and she hasn't been
and
back
MJ's in
since.
Malaysia
We
too.
have an
So yeah, we right
international set of listeners apparently.
We do, we
9
do.
years. See, 9 years.
9 years.
That's like
Wow.
almost a
That's a
decade
long
And he
now.
time.
still doesn't talk like that, le.
Not le, probably not le.
So what he Captain Cap.
We have to be ready
Let's
with the
try,
Singaporean accent
Rod.
because
I know, I know, I
Let's
know, I
try.
know.
Yeah. So July 10th we'll have Glenford. We'll talk about like working
That's awesome.
overseas,
That's awesome.
and yeah. So yeah, it's yeah. That'll be like almost a month from now.
I have a lineup of guests too that I'm kind of like trying to book
We're gonna
into
have
the
Boo Boy
show.
on Wednesday, huh?
I'm gonna contact him. I want to confirm with him first.
All right.
Because I think, yeah, hopefully we'll have him on Wednesday. But you know, he can join in anytime. One thing I like now compared to before, how society views tattooed people. Before, there's always a stigma of tattooed people.
Kunbik mo na, kunbik.
Yeah,
X
that's
ko
Yeah.
na, X kun.
It's always the bad connotations like addict na, party
Addict na
person na.
addict.
What's wrong with that? I mean
Manyak
aside
na,
from addict,
manyak.
there's
It was
nothing
during
wrong with
the
being a party person. I don't get
it,
it.
it was during the 90s when that stigma came about. I mean,
Mm.
I have a
Go on.
tattoo. Mao has several tattoos. You know, I don't think any less of him.
Yeah, why would you
Um,
say that? Why would you say things like, "Hey, addict mo na"? What if the
Yeah,
tattoo was like
exactly.
Jesus Christ? Yeah,
I
what?
think,
But
hey,
it's
have
not.
you seen that? Have you seen the tattoos of the addicts? They've been saved. No, you know,
They
no,
should say, religious ka na siya. Okay, Jesus Christ ang tattoo. Right?
no,
And why would you say, ay, manyak na, manyak? Why?
no,
What was
I
the
think
tattoo? A vagina? What, a
I think
penis?
I think
What was a
people said
tattoo?
that
Like, why would you
people
say
said
that?
that before because we didn't have tattoo parlors at the mall back then.
Right.
Usually, truth be told, you get a tattoo when you're in jail. that's really where the tattoo artists were. Like during the 80s, did you know of a public place that offered tattoo, art? No,
Hold on.
it was
Did I
only during the
imagine it, or
90s.
did they have one in Gmall, like in one of
That's
those?
90s. That's 90s. That's when I got
No,
my
no, no.
tattoo during the
But
90s.
there's a tattoo parlor inside the mall, right? I didn't
Yes,
imagine.
this was
Okay,
during the
okay.
90s. I mean, or whenever Gmall opened. But I think there was one in Galaxy Arcade too beforehand, but nothing during the 80s. Like during the 80s, because I remember because my mom was a lawyer, right? And she was really into criminal law. So there were people who were in jail that she would kind of save for whatever, spare from human rights abuse or whatever. And she would make them stay at our house. And these are guys
They
who
had
she rest
tattoos.
dude, a snake. This guy had an anchor here, and you look at the back, it's a wool ship. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was just a joke. But I mean, this guy had like a snake tattoo on his leg. No, it's true. So I'm used to seeing guys like that. They would stay in our house. They would be like kind of our helper for a bit, and then until they could go on their own. And my mom would like bring these
Yes.
strange guys in, and they were literally convicts. And I did not know of back then of somebody who was just a beach boy or a surfer dude who had tattoos. Now, if you see somebody with tattoos, it's like, okay, he's a Boracay boy, he's a surfer dude, he's
He's
whatever
an
from
artist.
Siargao. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's an artist, he's whatever. But back
he's a
then,
free. What do you call it? A wild
yeah, but
soul, whatever.
Free
yeah,
spirit. Free
What?
spirit.
Free
spirit.
spirit, not a wild
Yeah, like
soul.
like like Mao has like maybe 4 or 5 tattoos. I have one, and I got this. Um, Nobody knew about it because nobody can see it. I can lift up my shirt up high, and you still can't see it because I kept it there because my grandmother
You
is
hit
very
it.
conservative. Yeah, my
Right.
grandmother's very conservative, and
I
I
think
had
it
a
depends on the society because I think in Japan it's still like not a lot of people have that
kind of
like
like
they would
seen as
still
a
they would still
kind of like a
what do
rogue.
you call
You're
it
kind of
like
like a rebel.
yeah there's the yakuza element there like
Oh
they
yeah,
would
yeah, yeah.
still
That's
like
right. That's right.
try to connect it with like, oh, are you yakuza because
That's
why do you
right.
have tattoos like but it's not
That's
but it's
right.
just that's a stigma here.
I understand
And
with
I don't know
Japan
in
the
Korea because like
thing.
Glenford's saying about Jungkook, it's a big deal.
Showed up his tattoo and today not covered. Big deal actually.
Well, apparently
Okay.
it depends in
Ah,
the like wherever,
Some
which country
Yeah,
you're
because the
staying,
K-pop
perhaps.
idols have to look all like boy next door and all clean looking and stuff, right?
yeah.
So,
The K-pop guys
Not the
all look
convict next
so
door.
pretty. Don't they look
but Pinky,
pretty?
Pinky,
They're so
is it a
pretty.
deal breaker for you if a guy has a tattoo? Would you
No,
like?
unless it's like
It's
something really offensive,
What if?
like
What
I
if?
don't know,
Yeah.
swastika or
What if he?
what if it's like
What if?
he's wang?
No. What if? What
that's
if
just gross. What?
he would ask, or he would like he would have your name tattooed on his chest.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
tacky, man. I don't know.
but
That's
but
not.
Pinky.
it's
It's not
but
for me.
I love
it's
Pinky.
still
Oh,
penke.
dude. Yeah, and it's spelled wrong. That's just fantastic. I would marry him for that. For that alone. Yeah, that's
Holy
Penke.
crap!
dedication.
Hang on, hang on,
What?
hang on.
What happened? What happened?
This is the tattoo. I'm just gonna show you. Like,
The
damn
tattoo
it!
of
Like, I
Tattoo
didn't
of
expect it
what?
to be like
K-pop
this.
guy, the K-pop guy.
The K-pop guy. Yeah, I
Okay, go
didn't
go
expect
go.
it to be this
Show
big.
it.
Damn it! That's why he's wearing long sleeves all the time.
He has like a wool sleeve, I think. Maybe
I
right.
don't see anything.
Oh,
Oh, there it
wool
is. It's loading.
Oh, that's like a John Mayer tattoo.
That's a shirt. Oh no,
No,
it's
this is
not.
yeah. It's like a
It's
John
not a
Mayer
shirt.
tattoo.
That's his tattoo.
All
Yeah,
right.
Jungkook.
Well,
it's like
can
a
you imagine
John
how
Mayer
painful
tattoo.
that is? Like, I'm
It
guessing it's like in a
it
span
kind
of
of
months or
kind
years,
of
right?
complements and creates balance to his like feminine soft features. It kind of
It
makes
goes
him a
really well
badass,
with
doesn't
the
it?
shirt
Right?
that he's
Makes him a
wearing. I'll
badass.
give
Yeah,
him
makes him a
that.
badass. Makes him
Okay,
a
here's the
badass.
thing. I believe in South Korea, tattooing is illegal unless you're a
What?
medical doctor. Is it?
Oh,
My God,
really?
are they that conservative?
Illegal?
I'm not sure.
Illegal.
Well, I don't know. I
So that
have
guy's
no idea.
committing a major crime already, right?
Right?
For having
He
that.
should be jailed. All right, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, but I guess back in the day.
Yes, this is true. Tattooed people are not allowed in onsens. Yes, it is true. If you have a
Okay.
small tattoo, you can put a tape and you're okay.
Okay.
But
The big
they will not
ones.
allow you to.
What
Yeah, the big
what
ones.
if
No,
it's like a full body or a full sleeve? You know, it's
no, you
fill it
can't.
with like
That's the
plaster.
downside of it. You cannot enjoy the
Okay.
onsen here if you have
Yeah.
tattoos because
I mean,
they will not let
if
you
I
in.
could turn back time and decide again to have a tattoo or not, I probably wouldn't have one. But this was a time when I was 21 years old, and I just came from a breakup, and I was like, I
Right.
was
And you were
thinking,
singing,
Wait,
I
Rod,
wanna
is that supposed
die.
to be
I
a
wanna die
Leonardo da
right
Vinci
now.
thing? That your tattoo is
it wasn't
Leonardo?
really.
Is that
No, no, no.
Leonardo da
It wasn't
Vinci
the one
inspired?
I have.
Yeah,
No,
it looks
this
like
was
a Da Vinci piece.
no, no, no. It's copied from Axl Rose, supposedly Axl Rose's tattoo. He has a girl tattoo here,
Oh,
and this was I had a long distance relationship.
Hang
I
on.
had
I thought your
a
tattoo was like Jesus Christ over
No,
here.
no,
no,
no.
it's
It's
a
not.
woman,
No, no.
right?
It's a woman?
Because
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend. And it became long distance, and it's like we broke up, or she, we grew
Ah,
apart, and
Ah,
then
like Mark
my
Anthony
love
and Claudine.
story
no, no, no,
pala.
Ah,
and then I was like single. I was single, and I
That is
told
such a
myself,
strange reference, Ice.
I told myself back then, this was how stupid I was. I told myself, I can't be without a woman by my side. That was my
Oh
thing because I was
man.
always the girlfriend guy. I was not the
he's the
barkada guy.
girlfriend guy.
I
Yes,
will
he's the
kick my
girlfriend guy.
barkada out of my life if I had a girlfriend. I was a girlfriend guy. So I had this woman, random woman, tattooed, right? So I had this woman tattooed on my shoulder. And
I
this is
could
a
have
random
sworn
woman.
that.
It's not an ex-girlfriend. This is not, anybody. So I had her tattooed. And
So
anyway,
you won't have to be alone anymore. Is that what it was?
it's a 3D tattoo because you
Right.
see her in the front and this is her back. See, the hair looks real, doesn't it? From the back. So there. There. See ya? So that's a tattoo. Hey, stop laughing. You showed your nipples, dude. All right. So anyway, so
Oh
there.
no.
So I'm just so lucky that my wife kind of
Looks a
resembles
little
her.
bit. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
because my wife has wavy hair. Can you imagine if I had a wife who had short hair and straight? Like,
Right.
yeah,
From
see,
your
I have a
nephew.
fan. I have
Nice
a
3D
fan.
joke.
Yeah, he's seen this, he's heard that.
Right.
But anyways, that was the reason. So I was
Mhm.
21. I was stupid. I was, and I had one. Now, if I could have it all over again, I would probably have like a picture of my kids. But what scares me about portrait, I actually wanted one with my Lola. But what scares me about portrait
What
tattoos
if they
is
botched it?
what if they screw it
Yeah,
up?
exactly.
Exactly.
A
It looks
face is
nothing
so,
like my Lola.
distinct.
All
And
right.
you're gonna end up with
Yeah.
something that looks like a cartoon character. That's just sad.
Yeah, but I really
Might as
considered
well.
that for a while, having my Lola here on the
Yeah,
other
but I
side.
think
But
I think there are artists who specialize in that. Like
Rod, you need an
realistic.
audio tattoo.
I agree. 100%. Yes,
People will
Dong,
start
yes.
staring at
And
your
I'll show it to
tattoo.
Iceman all the time. Like, Ice, what do you
And I
see? He'll be
Hey,
like,
Rod, are you tricking me? There's nothing there,
I
man.
love it.
yes, there
I see your
is.
armpits. That's it.
Is that possible though? Can you actually have one as a tattoo?
You know
Don't
what?
you need
Why
color?
don't-
Oh,
Probably not.
You
no,
should
no.
try. You should
I think
try
it's
and
possible.
let us
Well,
let us
No, no.
watch.
go to
No
We'll
way.
Gmall.
stare
Go to
at your
No
Gmall
way.
back.
tomorrow.
No
All
way.
right.
I just
Okay.
have okay. The onsen's ruined for me. I ruined for me. Always
No,
wanted
no,
to
no,
put
no,
on
no. Okay, okay. You can still go to these places where, they have what do you call this? These are the what do you call it? What do you call it? What you call it? The
onsen.
I don't
ryokans,
know.
like the ryokans, the big ones, the ryokans. You can go there,
What
and
is
they
a
have the public
ryokan?
ones. A ryokan is like a sort of traditional, sort of like
Bathhouse?
hotel. Yeah, like a
Oh,
bathhouse or
okay.
something. And you can stay there. You can relax, and they have like the public bath, and they have the private ones. I went there one time with my German guests. We went there. So there's like an onsen where it's public, and there's like like you can be there with your family or with your whatever your partner, and it's like private. It's just like the two of you or like just your family there. So you can still go there. So it's still fine. But then you can't
Well,
go to the like just the normal ones,
we
which would
stay down
only
in
cost you
public.
around like
See, right?
the nice ones would only cost you like 1,000 yen or even less on weekdays, and it's already nice. So if you go to to those ryokans, that would that would cost you
Yeah, you
much
have to
because
be stripped naked, right? It's a requirement. You have to be
yeah,
totally
yeah,
naked.
like well, you'll get used to it.
Oh,
Like
cool.
yeah, I got used to it, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
no big deal.
I mean, so you'll see like pubic hair floating your way sometimes.
No,
You see
there
that
was one
happen.
time I was just like sitting there,
And
and
you're
all of a
like,
sudden
"Pep, pep."
this no, like no, not that the weirdest experience was I was I was there. Then this Caucasian guy walked by, and from my peripheral view, I was like, "What the heck was that? That was."
Why?
Yeah. I was like, "What the?"
And you're like, okay, I'm staying in the water.
Kid
I'm
you
not
not,
getting
I
up.
kid you
I'm
not.
not getting up. I'm not getting up.
I was doing this. I was doing this. I was in this position.
It was like this. It
And
was like this. Woo.
yeah, when he passed by, and it made me do this. It made me do this. Like
Don't hurt me, please.
wag pa, wag
Wag
po.
pa. Wag kuya, wag. Wag kuya.
Oh,
But I was
dear.
like, he just like walked by. I was like, whoa, what the
Oh
heck was
my
that?
God.
But yeah, I was like, oh man,
And then
and it's not. I'm not kidding. I am not
passed
kidding.
by, right?
Well, well, I haven't been in an onsen with a black dude yet, but
Anyways.
this Caucasian guy, just looks,
Yeah.
I was
you
like,
wanna,
whoa.
you wanna take your clothes off, pala, huh? Okay, here you go. Okay. It's like getting slapped without getting slapped. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting dick slapped.
Quite literally too.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right, okay,
Oh man.
dude,
Oh God.
11:03
Okay,
now. All right,
Okay. All right.
we had a nice
so,
laugh. Let's
yeah,
call
we
it a
did, we
night.
did. It's got, when we start talking about genitals, it's time to end the show.
Right. Okay.
That's just basically.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks
all
for the
right.
advice. Been meaning to go to Japan if it weren't for COVID. All right. Well, soon it will be over soon. And hit me
John,
up. All right.
John,
Hit
I'm
me
gonna
up.
do my research on the auto stereogram tattoo. All
Goodbye,
right, see
sweet
if I can get
innocence.
that done. And hopefully on Wednesday we'll have Boo Boy, we'll have Mr. Philip
Yeah,
King.
Mike Masterboo. Mike
We'll
Masterboo.
try
Also
to
a
book
former
him
radio
to
personality. Yeah.
guest on the show. Yeah, and he was the winner of MTV Superstar. He was one of the
Yeah.
winners, along with City, who the bossa nova chick. So they were like,
Ah, right,
yeah,
right, right.
City was the winner. He was the winner. There were like 3 winners for different musical genres. I
What did
think.
he do? Did he rap?
He rapped, yeah. And
All
then he was mentored
Rap.
by Andrew E. And then they came
Oh, I
up with
see.
Gusto ko bumaet pero di ko magawa. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't do that. That's not their thing. But we'll talk to him. He appeared in Nina, right? Remember Nina?
Yes, of course.
Nina had a series of music videos. You can see him there in the music video. It's like he's like there in the background. So a little showbiz,
Cool.
with the guy. So we'll talk
All
to him,
right.
hopefully. All
Well,
right.
can't wait. Hopefully, we'll have him on
So
Wednesday.
so for the people out there who are tuned in, hopefully you appreciate what you have, all the conveniences that you take for granted now. Back in the day,
Oh, you know what's really also very convenient now? Like kaguran. Like you can just grab a coconut and like have it like shredded. I kid you not. When I was a child,
Kaguran, huh?
they made
Where's
us
this
do
coming
that.
from? We're about to end the show, and all of a sudden, like,
You know-
oh, by the
you
way, the kaguran. What the heck?
Pix, we opened with this. We were talking about pangkai and what was that ice?
You're gonna end it with that, like, oh, by the way, the kaguran. Like, it's so convenient now. We're like,
We
what?
have full
Where's
sugar.
this
You
coming
can just
from?
take your coconut, have the guy shred it for you. Because when I was younger, I used to like sit on this like wood with like the metal bit, and you just
All right.
Yeah.
See?
shave it yourself.
I get
True,
yeah,
right?
kaguran,
Yeah, see, I'm not. Yeah, there you
That's
go.
how it is. How else do you do it, right?
What is it?
Nice. Come on. What do you do when you do the good?
From
I literally
Mahimik ka.
choked.
You know what?
This is
When
this
you
is
go to
a-
an
this is a-
onsen, wear blinders. Wear blinders, okay?
Do not like look left or right. There. That's
No, he
Iceman's
wasn't. He
tip
wasn't.
for
He
you.
just saw it. He just
no, I wasn't
Right,
even
that's
looking. I was
right.
like,
No, he was
peripheral view. I told you. It's
You
like,
need like
whoa, that scared the shit out of
horse
me.
blinders.
All right. Okay, so all right, we'll
Sorry
see you
about
guys
that.
on Wednesday. All right.
Yeah.
That kaguran is a weapon. You can get hurt.
It
with
is.
Yes,
It is.
it is. It
But
is.
see, people
Absolutely.
agree. People agree. Kaguran, thing of the past. Yeah. All right. I had end the show because I'm gonna talk about Kaguran all over.
So, like I said, don't
Go
take for
ahead.
granted the conveniences that you experience now, because back in the day, there were people like us who didn't even know that we would be having this. So,
Right. That's
we
true.
lived the
That's true.
harder
That is
way.
true. Now we have this.
Now we have
Right.
Just
this.
like the old
So,
days. Just like the old days. Yeah.
Yes.
We wouldn't
All
even
right.
be able to do this show without the conveniences of modern technology,
But
right?
the funny thing
Mm,
is,
true.
people will be looking back in a few years and say, "Oh man, remember when we had to do live streams and like have to set things up, and then like in the
Yeah.
future we'd be like teleporting and like mind
Holy
connecting." I don't know
shit,
what I'm
man!
talking
In
about.
3 years, Pinky, that's
Can
your
you
In
prediction.
imagine?
In 3 years,
Can you imagine
are
3
how it's
you?
years,
gonna
I'm
be
talking
like?
like 4 weeks. Yeah.
Can you imagine how how
Oh
people
man,
would be like how our kids would be doing their radio shows or their like
Like it would
man.
be mental telepathy, I guess. You just
oh
or
my
like they
god,
Yeah.
implant a microchip in
crazy.
you, so you'd be like a portable radio yourself.
Yeah. You
But
could have a
anyway,
portable machine that has everything in it. So
All right.
anyways, yeah.
right.
Okay, so we'll hope to see you on Wednesday, and it's been nice hanging out with you guys. So this is the whole
Thank
point
you
of
so
it:
much.
just hang out and be a community, just chat, and just be comfortable, and taking care of our mental health and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's really
Remember,
important
Yeah.
these days.
follow our page, spread the word, tell them to like it, follow it. We need more people to follow it so that we can elevate that page to the next level.
Just
And
click
and,
and
and
share.
it's what's gonna keep us going, because I mean, if
Right.
this goes nowhere, then well,
What's the point?
Iceman won't bother even like yeah, what's the point? You might as well be at an onsen watching some guys wang pass by,
What?
you know? Wah!
Or yeah,
Yeah.
or go back to the Kaguran, and
Yeah, with the
Yes.
kill
pinky.
time and shit.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my
So
god.
All right.
catch us again like Wednesday and Saturday. And I think
Mhm.
Wednesday we're gonna have a guest. So that's
Right.
something to
And
look forward
also
to.
on
And
Saturday we're gonna do a
Saturday,
pride episode
yes,
on
we're gonna have a
Saturday.
really cool
Yes.
topic. That's
All
because
right.
it
And
is after all June
and
Pride
thank you
Month.
so much to
So
all the folks who tuned in. CJ, of course, Jong, you have Gab, MJ, of course, Glenn Ford.
We have
What the
Jess. We had Jess.
AJ?
Yeah,
Yeah,
AJ.
we had Jess. My tita was on board for a bit. I don't know if she was listening with my dad, but yeah. So yeah, Glenn Ford. Hopefully, we'll have him
Gabby, of
next week.
course, Gabby.
Gabby, and who else? Trying to check out everyone here. Okay, so yeah, like I said, just of course Starks, John Starks, and yeah, spread the word. All right, to tell
All
people that
right.
there's a show. It's a hangout. You guys can comment. We can have you as guest if you have anything that you feel like is worth sharing. Just message any of us, and we'll try to work something out.
All
cool,
right.
cool.
So my name is Iceman,
Rodriguez.
And I'm Pinky. Good night.
and we are out.